We are live. Welcome everybody to, I think this is what, session number 8, session number 9 of the Art Storefronts office hours. Your questions answered live. And I want to start off, and Taylor, will you just let me know that the audio is working okay for Facebook? I wanted to start off just at the top with a quick little display about Instagram and Instagram Live particularly, because they've really advanced their technology recently, and it's pretty amazing actually. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This is going to be a little bit crazy and busy. Okay, let me get this phone. Oh, of course, it knocked out my phone. Shoot. All right. Well, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that, and we'll just get right into the questions.
Yeah, and so while everybody's on here, make sure that if you have a question, to raise your hand. Taylor has been posting a link in there in the chat little window for you to show you how to do it if you haven't been here before and you're not familiar with it. So go ahead and do that, and then we're asking everybody to have your question ready, we're going to try to get right into the meat of the issue with as little of rambling as possible. So that way, this was requested by the members after the last meeting, so that we can kind of cycle through faster and make sure that everybody gets their questions answered. So we're going to try, Patrick and I will try to move things forward as quickly as we can. And obviously we are doing these, we have a new show time. If you guys didn't notice, the schedule is now Tuesday and Thursday, every Tuesday and Thursday, not Friday. So Tuesday and Thursday at this time, which is 11 Pacific, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. Okay.
You got it. Do you want to get into the first question? I'm still monkeying around.
Yeah. Well, before I do that, I just want to make a quick announcement. It's actually just a reminder announcement. If you have not seen it, Art Storefronts members are all getting an exclusive print discount right now if you are using the fulfillment with Bayphoto or Graphic Dimensions, and it's about a total of 15% off. It's automatic if you are connected to either of those. You don't have to do anything. If you want to buy any prints wholesale to get shipped to you directly, you can do that as well in your self-made orders. And even if you're self-fulfilling for any reason and you want to just buy directly from one of our internal websites, you can go to asfprints.com and buy something there. The purpose of that discount is the whole concept of when we're telling you guys to discount, or maybe advocating for you guys to discount, we want a discount too. So it's a whole partnership, right? So we got this discount done so that it gets passed through to you guys, so that you guys can potentially pass it through to your customers by offering some sort of a, pandemic sensitive type of discount right now, if you want to do that. That was requested by a big handful of members who want to do that. And so that's what got it pushed through. So that's been active since last Thursday, and it's going for 2 weeks, right? So in other words, it will end a week from this Thursday. All right. So it's a good time to, if you want to run some sort of a sale and give your customers a good deal, it's a great time to do that, to try to get some business going. So I'm sure we'll talk about a lot of different creative marketing tactics during this whole thing, but that's one that you can utilize right away.
And you want to just jump right into the Facebook ads question, because we kind of teased that before we were live, and
sure,
I think it's worth discussing. So if you guys have been on any of these things before, you've heard me talk about this, but
the question was, is now a good time to do Facebook ads, by Laura Ganarelli.
Yeah, and we are in such an extraordinary time right now. There are more people online than ever before in the history of the world. Full stop. No two ways about it. I have a close friend that I went to high school with that's an executive in Facebook's video department, and she legitimately said there are so many people on Facebook right now that they are terrified every day of the servers crashing, and they're not being able to keep the application and the network up. So that's a thing. So even more to add to that, and especially, is it a good time to be advertising on Facebook? You have this weird situation, more people online than ever before. And then you have another situation where the marketing budgets are tanking of so many organizations. And so there's even less ads in the ecosystem. And so that's creating an absolutely unique opportunity to advertise on Facebook. That's number one. And this is why it's a yes, but. So is it a great time to advertise on Facebook? Yes, but it's hard. It's hard right now because of the economic climate, because of the fear and all of that. And so you really have to be creative with your ads and creative with your ask. And, you know, we are still seeing, which is just so encouraging. We're so fired up about it, but we're still seeing a tremendous amount of art being sold on a daily basis. And so it absolutely makes sense to go for it. But I think if you go for it just saying like, I'm going to put my stuff out there to cold traffic, to warm traffic, to whatever, I'm going to try to go for a sale immediately. If you go into it with 100% getting ROI immediately, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do that. If you go into it saying, I'm going to go for this sale, I know art is selling and I might sell some, but I'll also take a ton of new fans, a ton of new followers, a ton of new email addresses, and you go into that with that being your objective and having that be your expectation and your mindset, I think you're in a great place. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and I think like the way that we're doing it as a business, right, for art storefronts is like it's kind of brand building. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like that's kind of the mentality that you have. If you end up getting some customers from it, great. But you know, we're building our email list, you know, and our following and stuff like that. So
yeah,
and we're still buying ads.
Yeah, and you know, there's this thing is going to end. And, you know, the people that were really actively marketing during it are going to be the ones that come out in good shape. But Laura, I'm going to unmute you just in case that if there was any other parts to your question.
Look at that comment from Rick. I've collected over 400 email addresses this month via Facebook ads, thinking this will pay off when life gets back to whatever normal will be. That's pretty awesome. Obviously, it always depends on the cost, but the fact that you're getting the email addresses and they're opting in shows that, you know, that it's probably quality traffic. So that's nice. Okay. So
and Laura, you're unmuted. So if you want to go, we can probably hear you.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Laura, what's your question?
Uh-oh, she's having audio issues. She just unmuted herself, I think. Unmute. Let's try again. Laura, are you there?
Okay, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
So, so I'm planning to do 3 each month. I'm doing a giveaway, and I'm not getting a lot of people to sign up, but I haven't done any Facebook ad along with it. So I'm just kind of curious if I have to do the Facebook ads in order to get more more leads on these on with the giveaways. And also I've started to do, I only did it twice last Sunday, showing how I'm making a new product. And I got about 40 people at each little live session. Is that a good number or not?
Yeah, it's a great number. Are you doing that on Facebook or are you doing that on Instagram?
I'm doing that on Instagram, and
Wonderful.
I just started doing it. And then after each one, I've been sending them a little thank you in the thing. And then I just said, sign up for the next one. So I think different people are showing up. So I think I'm going to keep on doing it every Sunday at the same time and just kind of showing the process and showing the mistakes too, which is all part of it. What do you think of that idea?
Yep. And we're going to mute you now and then we'll answer that. Yes. 100% great idea. I think honestly, the arbitrage that's available for Instagram Live right now is absolutely tremendous. Like nothing I've ever seen. And we can get into some of the trade craft of it, which, you know, I think is actually pretty important. And I'll probably just show that right now. Let's just see if I can show this. What she just mentioned is an amazing, amazing technique that you can do because you guys let me know if my screen's showing. Is it showing?
It is, yeah.
Okay, it's a little bit of a mess and I apologize for that. Here you are up at the top and you can see it says your story, right? And just like this was a live that turned into a story. And so you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, you see how there's those 88 people. And so I click on the 88 people and here are all the people that were on that stream, right? Like, you know, for a lot of people, and I should back up by saying this, if you have a large Instagram following, and again, Rachel directed at you, it is very, very easy to get a tremendous amount of people on your stream, right? If you don't, then it ends up being crickets because you just don't have that many fans. Now I can talk about some strategies to get around that, but this sort of ties into that is like, even if you have like 7 or 8 people on your stream, you just come here. And again, let me just show you one more time. So it's easy. You just come right in here, your story, and you go to this little thing in the bottom left-hand corner, which shows how many people were on it. And these are all the people that were on it. You can just, as simple as this, one click, and I can send that person a message. Thanks so much for watching the stream. I really appreciate it. So what a fantastic opportunity to come in here after the fact and just do serious hand-to-hand combat and get things going. And I would also say further, the fact that you can right now leverage Instagram live to essentially have a video chat with somebody one-on-one, and we'll try to demonstrate that a little bit later if my phone isn't so finicky, is an absolutely fantastic way to do co-branding type of experiments or co-conversations with other people that, you know, they have some followers you'd like access to, you have some followers they'd like access to. Hey, let's do one of these chats together. We're going to talk for a couple hours and just do it. And you hold the phone, and Instagram's technology is so fantastic on this. And once more people figure it out, my guess is their servers will blow up and not be able to do it. But right now it is a gold rush. So that would be the answer on that one. And Nick, you've done a couple. I mean, you did one with how many guests this weekend?
I don't know how many total ended up being on it at the end of the day, but it was.
I don't know how many people you interviewed. Like you.
Oh yeah. I talked to at least, I want to say 8 to 10 Art Storefronts members on Saturday morning, answering questions. I think it was mostly people who couldn't be at the session on Friday. So
yeah. So yeah. Incredible arbitrage. Really highly recommend people do it. Okay, next.
Well, hold on. Yeah. For Laura, if the big problem that you mentioned there that needs to be discussed is that if the giveaways are not working right off the bat, like you said, you've done a couple of them, and you talked about doing Facebook ads. You don't necessarily need to do Facebook ads. That's one way of doing things. But if you don't know who your target audience really is, you might end up spending a lot of money. You're going to hear me say this a lot today, guys. It's definitely a common pattern, but what you should do, what you need to be doing is you need to make sure that you're fishing in other ponds, not just that one pond, which is your current email list and your current social following, right? And the way that you're going to do that is by following the resource that we have for Art Storefronts members. It's called the Ideas for Generating Leads, right? And it's an aggregation of all the tactics that we've suggested and that Art Storefronts members have done on their own to generate leads. In other words, to like fish in other ponds. So instead of having one giveaway, one fishing pond, which is your current email list and audience, I want you to have like 10 of them going. So I want you to work through that list and find the things that you can do right now. Some of them you obviously can't as a result of the pandemic. There's some in-person stuff, but the main one that we are advocating on there is the contacting the Facebook group owners and influential Instagram accounts. And we have a whole playbook for it. I won't go over the whole thing. It's in the show notes. Taylor, can you put that in the show notes? And it's on that list, and it's also in the pandemic response kit. You guys, if you go to the marketing resource vault, and by the way to get there is just, if you're in your site manager, there's the top bar across the top of your screen. If you hover over marketing resources, you will see marketing resource vault there. It'll take you right to the marketing resource vault. And if you scroll down, you should see the pandemic response kit right there in big and bold letters. And there's a bunch of resources there that we are aggregating in order to give everyone everything that we've been discussing about this current time and what you should be doing from a marketing standpoint. It includes like a whole session that we did on unconventional ideas as well.
Yeah. And to follow up, like if I was just launching right now, okay, I just launched my store 2 weeks ago. The contest giveaway, the original playbook that we came up with, absolutely works amazingly well for some people. When I say some people, for whatever reasons, and we can't get into the circumstances every single solitary time, it's a chicken and the egg thing, right? Like which came first, the chicken or the egg? If you don't have enough engagement early on to get it started, then it doesn't end up working. If you do, and if you follow it and you leverage family and friends and everything you've got to throw the kitchen sink at it, then you can get enough engagement for it to work and for it to get rolling. And some of the results we're seeing even now, like 100, 200, 300 emails on person's first contest that they've ever run and a couple of sales. And it's like, that is why that contest works so well. So I recommend starting with one. And if you don't, if it's crickets, you know what? That happens sometimes. Pivot immediately to the Facebook group and Instagram influencer strategies that we have, because there's already attention there. You're not going to need to generate a bunch of it on your own. And then when you have enough, you have some Facebook likes, you have some Instagram likes, you have an email list, then you can pivot back to the contest strategy and it'll work fantastically well.
Yeah. And by the way, like, I think this is a point that we haven't made yet that like is just really important is even if the giveaway strategy is working for you, you still need to do these other things, right? It's never enough. You'll grow way faster if you're fishing in these other ponds and you're getting your art in front of way more people and eyeballs, right?
That's right. That's right.
So it's for everybody. So the giveaway works for you in the beginning if you have a following and an email list of people that are quality and they're qualified and they might buy from you. That's why I believe it works for some people right off the bat, and for others it doesn't. Because if the people that you have are like friends and they're not buyers and they're like kind of tire kickers, then it is what it is. Some people have people on their following right off the bat that are like ready to buy and are signing up and things like that. So it doesn't matter one way or the other. You still got to work through that list and you still got to be doing these strategies so that you can get more leads in constantly.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to pivot to Melissa March. Melissa, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Hey, Melissa.
Good.
So I've been following on Facebook on the art storefronts, the small wins, and I just had a couple of questions about. So I have a business Facebook and Instagram page, but I also have a personal Facebook page, and I've been posting to all of those. And it seems like a lot of people are saying to not post your business stuff to your personal page. I mean, I've invited all of the people from my personal page to like my business page, and just still trying to get it out there. What do you guys think about, just posting my stuff with a link to my website on my personal page as well?
Yep. I think you should do both. I think we're talking about, your short-term and your long-term strategy, right? So when you talk about your personal page is going to get way more action right now. So if you want a short-term strategy to just inject some traffic into the system, some attention, absolutely use that one, and then continue building your business page. But yeah, for right now, especially like, desperate times, desperate measures, all of your Facebook friends are probably online a significant amount. Like, absolutely do what you have to do on the personal page right now, because right now it's just about doing the best you can, during the time, during the circumstances. Your friends aren't going to see every post anyway, so don't worry. You're just going to end up getting more exposure. No one's going to see everything, so you're going to be okay.
Okay, awesome.
That's and eventually you'll have so many other people following you and leads if you're following these things, and you know what I mean, that the point will be moot at a certain point. So just do whatever you got to do right now, and then you'll eventually transition, and you'll know the right time when you just start posting from your regular page.
Okay.
Your business page.
Okay. And then with the emails, how often do you guys recommend? I send a check-in email to all of the people on my list. I have 93 people on my list, very slowly growing, but I'm getting there. So I sent in the check-in email. Hey, I hope everybody's well. All of that good stuff. And I'm like, okay, I just added a bunch of new stuff to my website. If you guys are, bored, come take a look, come pay me a visit. I'd love to see you there. And unfortunately I had 5 people unsubscribe.
That's all right.
Which is a real bummer. So
no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't let that bother you one iota.
By the way, you have to say that every time, because it takes a little while to get over that bridge. But those people were never going to buy. They weren't interested. I'm sure they love you as a person.
Been there in the first place.
But yeah, it doesn't matter. Buy. Okay. It's better for everybody we see later. Just let me just take that weight off your shoulder. This is me lifting it up and throwing it off to the side. It's gone.
Okay.
Do not worry about it. Don't even look at it. It is useful sometimes in situations. I mean, the unsubscribe rate, to measure if you're emailing too much versus too little. But other than that, you don't have to worry about it, especially when the email list is small. Just keep rolling.
Okay, so like what, once a week?
So how often are you emailing them?
Twice a month. I've been doing like twice a month. I just don't know if that's often enough. I just don't want to continue that unsubscribe rate. I don't want to.
Yeah, don't worry about the unsubscribe rate.
So much that I'm just losing people left and right. So I just wasn't sure. What.
Melissa, are you following the art marketing calendar?
Yes, I am really trying.
Because I would email as much as we're telling you to email on there. Like if whatever the frequency is on there is fine. If you're above that, then maybe you might want to be concerned. But if you're doing that or less than that, then you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine. Yeah. Awesome. Don't ever. I mean, I think as Pat said, every single one of us has been at the spot where you worried about your unsubscribes, right? I've been there too. And I can happily report to you today that I do not think about it one bit, and I haven't for probably, I don't even know, 5, 7, 10 years, you know? Because there's another thing that's really important too, is that your email deliverability, you know, it's kind of known that like Gmail and all these different like email clients have like a deliverability score of some sort, right? And the less people that are like opening your emails and marking them as spam and things like that, or like the more people that are marking them as spam in that case, the worse off you are, you know? And so when you realize that you really want to only have people that are worthwhile on your list. If they don't want to be there, get off. Like, thank you. You know what I mean? Because all that's going to mean is that your email deliverability is going to get better and protected over time. So it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, you just need a lot more, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
a ton more. So again, as I said, I'm going to be a broken record today and probably always. That list for generating new leads and this strategy we're talking about is exactly what you want to be focusing on.
Awesome.
You know?
Thank you.
You
Great.
got it.
Thanks, Melissa. Okay, Richard, you're up. You're unmuted.
What's your question, Richard?
Hi, everybody. I'm looking for a little guidance about moving from the widest part of the funnel, which is where I think my Facebook ads are directed now, and I feel like I'm getting traction there. But I want to know how the quality or nature of my ads changes when I try to reach back to those folks now who've gotten familiar with me and so on. I haven't seen a clear description of how the nature of the marketing message changes, for example, and how to make sure I know I'm reaching the folks who have already made a first or second visit to my site. Thanks.
Okay, so the first things first is let's make sure that the traffic you're bringing in is quality and worthwhile. So what is the contact conversion rate percentage, you know, of your Facebook traffic roughly from those ads? Do you know?
Let me see if I can, I have my page up, so maybe I can grab it right away without taking up too much time.
So that number should be 5% approximately or higher with Facebook ad. When you're first starting out with Facebook ads, it could be a little bit lower until you tighten up the targeting and get it a little bit better.
Okay, the contact created conversion rate?
Yes.
I've got 0.5% at facebook.com/referral. I've got 8% where it just says direct.
What's the one that has the most traffic?
That first one, the facebook.com.
And how many were there?
For the last month, 579 sessions.
Okay. And then what about the other one that had the 6%? Or the 8%, I think you said.
Yeah, 37 sessions.
Okay. So in total, you can see there that the traffic that you're bringing in like is basically not that high of quality. Okay. Because if I take the average of both of those, you're well under 5%, right? Like you're probably what, you know, maybe like under 0.5% or something like that. And so, you know, that's the focus right there, right? That's actually the real problem is, you know, you need to make sure that those people are opting into your lead capture tool, and you need to make sure that your lead capture tool is set up according to best practices. Is the lead capture according to best practices? Like you're doing like 20% off, or did you change that?
Nope, it's the same templated message.
Perfect.
As normal. When I look at the detective, I see a lot of my visitors are one and done. They click once and they're gone. So, and I'm targeting, creating custom audiences, kind of following John Lechner's methods that he described in some of his videos. And some audiences seem to give me better traction than others. That was part of the experiment, was crafting these different audiences to see who was resonating with my messages. But yeah, I think you're right. I'd like to get people who stay engaged with me a little better than what I'm getting now.
Yeah, it's a targeting problem. It always is on Facebook. You know, I mean, we are experts on Facebook ads. We've spent millions and millions of dollars on it. And I can promise you that it's always a targeting problem. I mean, even today we have our own targeting problems, you know? And so that's what you kind of have to hack away at in order to find, you know, the higher quality. And you'll know when you get it because that contact conversion rate will go up. You know, you're ultimately trying to maximize that number because it's the first signal that tells you that you've got a quality audience coming in, and that will eventually, you know, purchase from you down the road. So that's the way. I mean, it's much too long of a discussion and to go over like every nuance of Facebook ads. But Pat, do you have any? Did you do something on this? Do you have a resource for him that we can pass along?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And so I made the complete guide, Facebook ads for photographers and artists. Taylor, get a link to this and put it in the show notes, please.
Richard, have you seen that by any chance?
I may have looked at it once, but I'm glad for the refresher.
Okay.
Yeah, so the whole thing starts with a podcast where I advocate what my strategy is for most artists, where they should get started with Facebook ads. And then I literally walk you through, I think there's, you know, 8 or 9 or 10 videos that walk you through step by step every single solitary part of it, and you can watch the whole thing in a couple hours, and it'll severely level up your
Nick,
entire advertising.
68 ASF members on this chat. Are we all target? I mean, if we all create our Facebook audiences the same, are we all hitting up the same viewers? Or I mean, do we each have our niche audiences?
Yeah, you have your niche audiences. That means nothing.
Got it.
Yeah. And of the people that are on here, maybe 1 or 2 are doing Facebook ads. I don't think many people are.
To cold traffic.
Yeah.
Okay, I see the link, Patrick. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Richard. Okay, John Davis.
Richard, ultimately, the way that you're going to get a high ROI on your ads is by finding people that like are specifically connected to your type of subject matter, as opposed to just like any high net worth individual, for example, right? So like that's where the targeting will really hone in for anyone that's doing Facebook ads.
Yep. Okay. John Davis Held, you're up. I'm going to unmute you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure.
Hey, John.
Yeah, I've really appreciated all your presentations, and I just tore apart my website based on that. Our focus for the last year has been galleries. We've managed to go from 1 really good gallery to 3 good galleries in the last year. And hopefully they'll still be open for 5 months because they've been selling a lot of my art. Having reworked things, it creates some problems. For instance, galleries hate it when you sell prints of the work to their customers. They want these very unique. It's a little bit tricky making sure that all of our prices are set right according to the galleries, because we have one really good gallery who just never gives people a deal, they say. So, and we're not quite sure just what to focus on as far as fine art. Having done New York City Art Expo a year ago, a lot of people like my old children's book illustrations, whereas I'm kind of known for my skies, and lately a lot of my still lifes have been selling too. So I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so with the galleries, you know, I think there's a couple of ways to play that. And I think like, you know, what I've seen a lot of people do is whatever piece you're going to give them, like, you know, you might not even sell prints of that piece, you know, like, I don't know how many pieces you're giving them, but like you kind of give them an exclusive on that. And if you sell it on your own website, the original, then you share the commission or whatever, you know, or the split like is the same or maybe just flipped.
That's exactly the way I do it. I've promised galleries, you know, there will be no prints done of.
Perfect. Okay. So then what's the problem then with them now? Or do you kind of have that settled? Do they still have a problem with your site?
I don't know if you could pull up my website, but it's a little easier to explain if you take a look.
Yeah. Patrick, can you pull that up?
Yeah. What's the URL?
JohnDavisHeld.com.
JohnDavisHeld.com.
while that's being pulled up, what I did, I used to have front page. This is what's in each gallery. I've now put everything on the kitchen sink approach on the front page as far as that goes. And I'm hoping that I can actually get some statistics about what people really like. For instance, there's a still life on the right. There's a children's book type illustration on the second row in the middle. Some of these, as you can kind of see, like if you stop scrolling a little bit, you can see that like in the blue legs, for instance, kind of at the top, it says available at the gallery to May. I had to use the field for the size, which took off the caps, but this way, some of this stuff can go right to them. If you look at that on the middle, that boats, just prints essentially, because I own that piece. Sunswept is an example of where I could be selling this art myself. So I've tried putting everything there with a thought that it gives you some credibility to collectors if you're in nice galleries, I figure. But I don't know quite what your thoughts are as far as that goes. I'm kind of pushing the template a little far.
Yeah, I have some sort of pointed opinions, if you will, on it. And, you know, if you're selling well in the galleries, that's fantastic. And obviously the last thing you want to do is cannibalize that. They are a dying breed. They're going the way of the dinosaurs, most of them, not all of them. Like the good ones are going to survive, I think. And boy, as the boat is sinking, they are kicking and screaming and making demands that are absolutely outrageous. But you know what? They can do that if they're bringing you attention and they're bringing sales. I use the analogy of, he's an artist on our platform, Matthew Laka, okay? And he just did a show, I think like 3 months ago now in Canada. He sold, I think all in, he's a little bit over $100,000 worth of his art on the show. And he had to do the 50-50 split. That was a split that he had worked out with the gallery. The gallery does not like him selling stuff on his site at all. They complain about it repeatedly. He's told them to pound sand. And what was interesting is, and I have a playbook that we ran for his pre-show that needs to be released. I need to say that. But what we found is that he's very active on social media. He's got 60,000 Instagram followers, I think, 20,000 Facebook followers, a healthy YouTube channel. He brought the majority of the buyers in. A little bit over half of the buyers that bought that $100,000 worth of art at that gallery show, he brought. That was his list. And that's a very frustrating thing to then have to pay 50% to a gallery when they were your buyers that came in. So that was a very difficult situation for him. But I also, you know, see the value of being in a gallery. And for a guy like Matthew, and you're very similar in terms of your pricing, and, you know, not necessarily the work, but the pricing can be up there. If you look at the gallery as just a way to get collectors back on your list, and you know that a gallery is going to bring those to you and you're going to figure out a way where you can grab them, I think the relationship makes a ton of sense. But I think if you are working on building your website traffic and building your social and building your Facebook and spending a ton of time on that, once you have it, is such a level of power. You have so much more leverage over the gallery relationship. It's crazy. And, you know, you have to approach each one of those relationships a little bit differently. But if you're selling well in them, I don't know. I mean, depending on who the gallery owner is, I would do some serious pushback on what you're allowed to sell online and be like, look, I'm marketing the crap out of myself. I'm driving people from my website, my efforts, my ads into your gallery, at which I'm taking a 50% haircut. So if I want to sell stuff on my website, that's what I'm going to do. And start with that fronting, and then, you know, easier to beg forgiveness than ask permission situation, right? Like, I don't know. There's no right answer to this one. It's a case by case basis on how you play.
What Patrick is saying, like if you want to use the proper term, like business terminology, is like there's indirect selling, right? And selling indirectly is when you're selling indirectly through somebody else, like a reseller. Okay, so that selling indirectly is like selling through galleries versus building a direct business, right? But you're doing both. That's why you've made the decision to be here, right? So if my opinion is the same, is that if the galleries are working for you, whichever ones are, sell through them and ride that as long as it lasts, while you're also building a direct business. Now, John, you asked about the website. I mean, I don't have a problem with the way that you set that up. I've never seen it done that way. I think like another way that you like, I mean, I would potentially, I've seen some people, well, something that you could do is you could you could put those images specifically that are sold in the galleries in like a gallery section, you know, on the navigation menu, and have a hover. And
It's already there.
What's that?
It's already there because
Yeah, and
what was the homepage is now the gallery section.
got it. Okay, so well, I mean, what I was thinking there is that they might not have the prominence on your homepage, you know, because you're selling the stuff that you're marketing and you're spending your time and money on, right? And so if somebody went up there and found it and they end up buying it, great, whatever, right? But it's not necessarily in your main thing of images. Now, you would make the decision to have it in your main thing of images if you believe that you're getting some sort of brand credibility, like you mentioned, right? Or, I mean, you know, I think also, like, why not just have a price on there and sell it, right? Now, you can put those products into a different store, right? Like, you can create a separate warehouse, and then you can have your lead capture tool not apply to those. Okay, so they can't be discounted. And that should make the gallery happy, right?
Well, they're not happy if I discount them, and they're not. You can lose a gallery if they think you're undercutting them.
Right, so you could set those up so they're just they can't be discounted. And then you put in the description, like, available at such and such gallery, or you can buy it, or as seen in this gallery, you know, and then, but you will also take the transaction if somebody wants to buy it, you know, and then you, like you said, you already did the deal where you'll split it with them, you know? So that's the way that you can get around it and still offer. And so I've seen people do that. Other art storefronts members do that, where they say, like, you know, save 20% on your first order, and they put a little modification on there that's like, you know, with exception of the art that is, you know, listed or shown, or whatever you want to say, at such and such galleries, you know, or you could even use a catch-all, like, at external galleries, right? And then you could asterisk those products when you're actually in the short description when they're looking at them, and those are just excluded, you know?
Yeah. Cool.
Does that answer your question?
It does. I really appreciate it. And I probably ought to move on, but if got any words about advertising and fine art connoisseur with your guys' experience, others might be interested in too.
In the magazine?
Yeah.
I have never seen anybody do that. Gosh, it's been a long time. I mean, I don't know a single Art Storefronts member that has done that. I've done a lot of print advertising in my day, back in the day. I kind of stopped and did everything digital for many, many years now. I don't know if the art, I mean, what does it even cost to do one in there right now?
It's pricey. It'd be a long-term thing. They've got 20 billionaires. They've got, you know, the 1% really like it. Some artists have, it's really pulled them up to the next stage where your price level gets tripled because you've become a name and a brand, and that's not a bad thing. It's something we're considering.
Yeah, I mean,
send us the kit that they sent you, the rate sheet. I'd like to actually see that.
Yeah, we're happy to work through that with you. If you want to get all the details and, like, think about what you're considering, post it in the small wins group, and then you know, our team can notify, like, Patrick and I when you do that, and we can look at it, because there might be something that they offer that might look good, you know? Like, sometimes, like, you know, they might have, like, a certain type of an ad, and you might be able to talk to them, and you can, first of all, you can always negotiate with the magazines, always, you know? And
Definitely right now, let me tell you.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, the reason I stopped doing the print ads is because they stopped working. They used to work really well in, like, the early 2000s. And then over, like, 2005, 2007, 2009, they just stopped working. I mean, we used to, like, with my other company, Breathing Color, we used to advertise in, like, these photography magazines like Rangefinder, and I forget what some of the names are. I don't even know if they're in business anymore, frankly. But they worked at one point, and then they just stopped working. And I was like, geez. You know, and the other thing too is that if you really want to, like, if you're going to blind target, or, I mean, like, blanket target a magazine like that, there might be a way of doing that differently online and get a better ROI for your money. I don't know. It's worth exploring.
Cool. Thank you so much.
There was two good notes too in the chat from Christina talking about performance clauses, and then also I think Chris had a very good point. So there's if you mouse to the bottom and there's like this little chat window thing, you should read those. I think those are good.
Yeah, and also John, like you definitely should post that in the small wins group to see if anybody comes out of the woodwork that's an Art Storefronts member that's done it recently. Cool. Like I don't know offhand, but I would definitely do that.
Cool.
Okay.
Nice notes too. Thank you, folks.
Yeah, thanks. Of course. Okay, next up is Steve. Steve, gonna unmute you right now. Okay, you're good.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
How you doing?
Hey, Steve.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks for doing this, you guys. It's really helpful, especially when this downtime. I really had two questions, so I thought I'd throw them out first, and then we can clarify them later. One is probably fairly simple. Is MailChimp? What's the difference between a free account and a paid account? Because I used to do Constant Contact, and it seemed like I got a higher hit rate, but I had to pay to be in Constant Contact. And that's just a small question. The bigger question I want to ask is, I was going down a trade show route this year, partly from different advice I've gotten from you guys, and so it got canceled, of course, like everything else. And then they reached out to me and offered me every attendee's email.
Which trade show was it?
It was International Lingerie Show in Las Vegas. My art is somewhat sensual, but not really. I mean, it's more playful than, it's not exotic or erotic or anything like that. But I was trying to get into a new market, and I was looking at, based on our conversations online, small wins, who's your audience, and so I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll go down there and see what happens. So I'm not really sure about the audience.
What did they want to charge you for that?
It's $1,000 for 1,900 emails, and that's limited information, like just an email and the company name and the person's name, and then $1,500 for 1,900 emails for geography and all that other stuff.
Yeah, so I'd call them back right now and be like, look, this COVID thing, pandemic is on. I know your business is hurting. My business is hurting. I'll give you $250 for all of them.
Oh, really? Just kind of offer them?
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this too. I guarantee you the guy the company that's reaching out to you, it's the same company that sends me these all the time for years. And because there's these big trade show companies.
We've bought them.
I bought a ton.
Yeah.
We went through this. I mean, Patrick and I this years ago, and we bought a bunch of them from like the Framing Expo and this show and that show, and they never panned out. They were worthless.
Really?
They were totally worthless. Yeah. And
but I actually think it's worth a shot. I think it's worth a shot for $250.
I think it is. I think it is for that price. And here's the thing: it's a digital product for them, so they'll take whatever they can get at the end of the day.
They don't care. Honestly, they
may say no, and then they may say last chance, and then just hit them on that last day and just say, "Hey, I've got the 200. It's all I can do. I'm just a photographer over here, right? Or are you a photographer, Steve, or a painter?
Painter.
Okay, yeah, I'm just a painter here. That's all I can afford. I mean, you could even go lower. They'll probably do it,
Yeah, and then not only that, don't be afraid to stand on it either. If they say, yeah, sorry, we just can't do that, shut up. Don't say anything else. Say, okay, that's just too expensive for me. I just wanted to give it a shot. Hope to do business with you guys in the future. And then watch.
They'll be back.
They'll be back.
They'll be back. And you'll get it for that price. Now, the overall point of you may run into this or you may not, but there's just such a big difference between people opting in to your list versus just like cold emailing them out of the blue. It's like, that's what you're going to find. People are going to be like, what is this? I didn't sign up for this,
Right.
And so you're going to get a lot of that. You could get some flack from the emailing companies as well for like uploading a list of people that didn't opt in. So you have to be careful with that. You might have to email them like through Gmail. Outside of like MailChimp, I would recommend maybe doing that on your first one. Guys,
if you get the list, come back, report what you did, and then we'll give you the full tactical playbook.
Yeah, there's a tactical for you. You got to scrub the list first.
Yeah.
And we'll go through the whole thing if you end up buying it. It's And then your
bring
first
it back
question,
to the
MailChimp free versus paid. It's just a list thing, and there's nothing different going on there with like deliverability.
Not
So-
deliverability. There's bells and whistles. It's worth going paid. This is gonna be your main email product. It's worth going paid. There's a number of different things. Well, we could probably Taylor knows better because I haven't been poking around in that thing in years. But this is just a cost of doing business. You got to do it.
Okay. Yeah, because Constant Contact I was paying for, and it just seemed like I had a higher hit rate. Certainly more feedback. Like I'm doing a giveaway right now, and I've had 3 people come back to me, which I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah,
I mean, when you're dealing with like,
giveaway.
it depends on how big your list is, because if you don't have enough people on your list, you're not going to have the statistical significance. You know, I think MailChimp is way more legitimate. They're $1 billion company than Constant Contact. Constant Contact's, you know, it's been around for a while. I'm not saying that they're not legitimate, but that wouldn't be the reason. It wouldn't be like the reason why the performance would be different. I don't think every email is different, and in order to do apples to apples, you'd have to send one in one and one in the other. You know what I mean? And then like probably do that test quite a few times to really see. I mean, we've done this ourselves on a lot of different platforms. Sometimes we think that that's happening. We're using like all sorts of different stuff, and we go back and forth just to test it. And every time that we do, nothing ever happens. We kind of always go back to the main one that we're using, you know?
Yeah, it's a wash.
Yeah.
Okay. Good question.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure, Steve.
Okay, Gretchen, you're up. I'm going to unmute you. And one quick follow-up to that before, you know, it brings up a really good idea, which is like, if there are trade shows that gel with your niche, and even if you didn't attend, you could probably call those folks up right now and make deals for their lists. You know, they would fire sale those things, whatever the trade show is, whatever the niche is. And they all have lists. They've all been peddling these lists forever. And that's a nice little unconventional hack right there. I like that.
Yeah, you know, I'm just going to mention it. The HD Expo. The HD Expo is kind of a known, like it's like one of the biggest hospitality shows. And we used to do that show back in the day at Breathing Color. For those of you who don't know, Breathing Color it's a company I started in 2003, manufacturer of canvas, fine art paper, photography papers. And so we used to do that show. And the reason we did that show is because the printing companies who, and we were selling to like, you know, we would sell to anybody who was printing art or photography. And the very big accounts would be there that were dealing with hotels, interior designers, and things like that. So it's actually an interesting list to maybe try to go after if you're because the interior designers and like those types of jobs, like those people are at that show.
Okay, Gretchen, you're next. Gonna unmute you.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks. Hey, hi guys. Thanks
Hey,
a lot.
Gretchen.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
You too.
Every other day. Just a quick question on TikTok. What's your thoughts on how TikTok has suddenly become so popular and hopping in there? And what do you think on, you know, like the giveaway videos out on that? What do you think?
Yep, I think you can't be emotional, okay, about the fact that TikTok owns a tremendous amount of attention. So I'm not going to worry about the fact that it's a Chinese-owned entity, and I don't trust the owners any further than I can throw them.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
That part infuriates me. But independent of that, they have a ton of attention. The customer base, obviously, the age group on there is going to be significantly younger. But that being said, it's absolutely worth the test right now. There are more people on that app than ever before seen, and I think you give it a shot.
Okay.
And you take a look. Like, everything's on the table right now. Get creative. I say.
I would try to shoehorn the stuff. Like, if you look at the art marketing calendar and like what we're telling you to post on Facebook and Instagram, try to shoehorn that also into TikTok.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and see what happens, and then watch your stats. Right?
Okay.
What you want to see, the way that you're going to find out of whether it's a good channel or not, is if you go into your stats section in the Art Storefront Site Manager and you go to the Conversion Doctor report and you see if those people are opting in to your lead capture, which is the contact conversion rate, right? That's whether it's Pinterest or it's TikTok, it doesn't matter, or it's you know, a list that you're emailing, like, because you should tag those things specifically with a UTM tag. And that's the way that you judge the quality of that source.
Okay. Hey, and Nick, since Breathing Color is your company, the Breathing Color watercolor paper, what's your thoughts on that for photos? Because it's
I'm only on the board. I'm a shareholder. I'm on the board now for the last few years. So which one are you referring to?
Well, it's one of the selections of paper, and it's really the only textured paper that we have in our storefronts for printing on photos on it.
And are you on Graphic Dimensions?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I totally recommend it. There's a presentation that I did on Graphic Dimensions. It should be in the group and it should be in the vault. Taylor, let's get that in the show notes if we can. And I went through all the media types and I gave my specific recommendations.
Oh, okay. All right.
I would 100% follow that.
I jumped on Graphic Dimensions when you first switched to that from Scott, and,
cool.
and it's great. I enjoy it. I really do.
Yeah. Have you seen that video or no?
I have not seen that video. Yeah.
You'll want to watch that because what I'm doing is I'm trying to give you guys the inside information on what media types are like super high quality, but are also very competitively priced, because there's a lot of marketing nonsense that's built into those papers and canvases. And I don't want you guys to fall for it. Yeah. Sorry to say it, but it's just the truth. Like I know everything. I know every brand. I know where everything is made. I know Hanemule. I know Epson. I know everything. So you know what I mean? Like you guys are not going to get, taken for a ride. You guys need to offer the best products for the best price. And so that way, because all it is at the end of the day is just profit margin for you. You know what I mean? Like if you have a product that's really good and it's archival and nobody can tell the difference, and you're paying like $40 less for a print, like that's money in your pocket. And you guys need all of that.
By the way, the metal mat that you guys have on Graphic Dimensions is stunning for black and white.
Oh, awesome.
It is really, I had some in a gallery show, and man, people just went nuts, and I sold those. And I kept some of them for myself because they're just, the matte I prefer much over the gloss. It just makes a big difference.
If you do a TikTok, by the way, and even in your Facebook and Instagram, people aren't doing this enough, and we're really trying to push it, like show your product.
Okay.
Like show those, you know what I mean? Like people too often, or photographers and artists too often just post their image on there, and as opposed to the product itself. Like you're selling a product, you know what I mean? Show people the different products, show them a canvas print, show them the sides, show them the angles, show them it in the light, show them the metal print, talk about what you love about that metal print.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, I can talk, that's for sure.
Cool, Gretchen. Thank you.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, Kelly, you are up. You're unmuted. Kelly Merker. Sorry, in case there's two Kellys. Oh, nope. Just kidding. I didn't unmute you yet. Night. Let's give me problems. Kelly, I think you have a mic issue because I'm trying to unmute you. Oh. Kelly, you there?
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Hey, sorry about that. That was me.
So I'm pretty new. My site just went live. I'm in the process of getting ready. Thank you. I'm in the process of getting ready for my giveaway. I have a slow start but decent following on Instagram, but I keep having people reach out to me on Instagram wanting, I guess, I don't know if collaborate is the right word, but wanting me to pay them for them to post my images on their Instagram. And I just don't know if that's a good return on my investment. Like one that reached out had about 140,000 followers. So they're asking for a certain amount for, one share or two share or three shares. I mean, different images. So I didn't know what your thoughts were on that.
We love this. We love this. Now, them reaching out, I don't necessarily know. It's sort of flattering that they're reaching out. They're going on to do the outreach programs now. Normally you have to reach out to them. But
that scares me a little bit.
Yeah. It's better to pick the ones that you think are the best because they all do it. But I think it's fantastic, but there's rules to winning with this, which is one, we think you should do a print giveaway with it. Okay. And so you just get, we have a whole playbook on this, but I'll just say this really quickly. Fantastic way, especially when you're getting started, because they have all the attention and you're basically paying them for the attention. We like doing it with the print giveaway. So you don't give them any money at all. You just say, hey, you have this great list. You want to keep this list entertained. Obviously, you like my art. If you were going to use the one, you weren't doing the outreach with this, hey, the one that responded to you in the DM. If you think of it as no different than an ad cost, you're going to send a shipped print to them for $150, $200, whatever it costs. You do that and not pay them and just say, I'll give printed and shipped free order. We can run a little giveaway to your audience, any which way you want to do it. We can do an Instagram live together, and I'll show the print off ahead of time so you'll have something to do. And by the way, if you can pull that off, that's the trifecta of this whole operation, because if you do the Instagram live, you get access to all their followers because they'll see that this account is on live. So I would do that. That's number one. Number two, though, you cannot do it just on a one-off basis and think you're going to nail it, right? Because what's going to happen is there's some that are out there that have huge follower accounts and some that have less follower accounts, and you don't know which one has the followers that you're concerned with, right? The people that would potentially buy your art. So you have to make a mental commitment and say, you know what? I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it 5 times. I'm going to do it 5 times. And I'm willing to give away 5 prints, or I'm willing to pay the fee if I'm not going to do the print giveaway 5 times. And what you'll do in that situation is, yeah, 1 will be a dud, maybe 2 will be a dud, maybe 1 will be in the middle, and then 1 will just be a home run. And if you go at it just once, the odds are not good that you're going to find the home run on the first one. Unless you have that kind of luck. I don't have that kind of luck in personal life, but you do it the 5 times, you'll find a winner. And then the goal is, once you find a winner, develop a really awesome relationship so you can go back to the well once a quarter, right? Once a quarter all year long. And then especially go back to the well when you have a big sale going on and you have everything, all guns blazing, discounts, everything else. So that's what I would say on it, but totally like the idea.
Yeah. And Kelly, this, what we're talking about here is there's a playbook for this that we have. Okay. And it's what I was referring to earlier. It's this Facebook group / Instagram account, approaching them. And it's in the show notes. And it's in the ideas of how to generate leads. What's happening to you is this is like a reverse of it, where instead of what we're telling everybody to do is to find these accounts and contact them and do this. Right. You've got the reverse happening where they've contacted you. I'm a little suspicious. And the reason being is because you can go to websites like Fiverr and buy followers, and these guys can buy these followers and make it look like their account is legitimate. And it's not. And then they're just going around and they're taking advantage of people like you. So what I would do is ask them for maybe 5 referrals,
Well, I went and started looking at, because they have a different variety of things. It's not just art. And I would think that those sites that are primarily just art, most of the people following them are other artists, and that's not really who I want to be marketing to. So this one has a variety of things that they're posting, and it's called Interiors for You, I believe this. So I started going back and looking at some of the other art that they posted, and I went to those people's Instagram, and they're saying they guarantee, 500 followers with if you post once with them or something like that. But I went on to one person's Instagram who had posted with them previously, and they only had about 300 followers. So I'm thinking it's probably not the most legitimate.
Yeah, I would probably watch out until you are able to verify with at least 1 or 2 other artists, or photographers like you, that they've done it and it worked.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's what I would do.
That brings up a really good point too, is like you can just go back and see some of the art that they shared earlier and then go to those accounts, send that person a DM. Hey, did you get any traction on this? But this is also, see my earlier point, where you have to do it 5 times. The reality is that there's so many of these people that are out there, and a lot of them have huge followings, but for you guys, 2 or 3 people that would end up becoming collectors and buy 5 or 6 pieces over the next 20 years, all of a sudden that is a tremendous ROI if you can pull it off, right? So you have to do it a couple of times, like,
You're talking about outreaching though, not them coming to you.
Yeah. I mean, either or. Like the point is, like, they could have bought a bunch of followers. They have these little like Instagram groups where the rules are, anytime you do a post in the group, everyone in the group has to like it. I can't remember what they're called. They're called farms. There's a name for it. Anyway, I'll come to it in a second. So there's so much shenanigans that goes on, right? And I have a buddy, okay, that I did help him out with some marketing. He's a friend, grew up with him, and he paid an Instagram influencer that has 3 million followers, $15,000. Didn't sell a single solitary thing. Sold 0, not 1 sale off like multiple posts and stories. And those stories are out there, right? So like, why did he lose? He probably could have made it, but he lost because he just went all in on one guy. You have to do the 5, right? You have to do the 5, have the basis for comparison, and I think it would really work. So yeah.
Yeah, and Pat mentioned, the print giveaway, like doing the giveaway with these people. That's in the playbook. He said $150 to $200 per giveaway. That is not what it will cost. I just want to make this clear. When you are doing a lot of these, you should look at doing a giveaway of a photo paper print potentially. And if you don't know whether this thing might have to ship international, you should definitely have it be a rolled print, not like a framed or, a stretched canvas, unless you want to, but the shipping on that is going to go up. Shipping a rolled print is very, very cheap. And it's like a fixed price no matter what the size is. So if you offer you can offer like a 20 by 30 photo paper print, and even like a watercolor paper, like the one we were just talking about. There's a Breathing Color 600 MT, and there's also a Kodak smooth fine art paper on Graphic. Both of those are on Graphic that are really competitive. And a 20 by 30 is a really good size print, but it might only cost you like $25. You know what I mean? So you should look at what's a good offering and then try to do a lot of these, and that way you're not going too all in on one, and you're getting a lot of lines in the water.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Great
Thank
question,
you.
though. Thank you.
Good question, Kelly. Thanks.
Okay, Mark, you're up.
Hey, Mark.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
I got some headsets on here, and I wasn't sure if my mic worked or not. But I have been wanting to kind of get a little bit of a quick review from you guys about my stats, and I think I talked to you once before about what I've been up to, and I started doing your recommended procedure about romance marketing, maybe do an ad here and there, and keep up with that. And I've had really good success with that. And like in the last month, I've had over 220 emails sign up for my MailChimp account.
Excellent.
But
Good work.
if I gave you some information here, I could do it because I'm looking at my phone here, and I pulled it up on my phone so you guys wouldn't have to pull it up. But
I'm trying to pull it up as you're talking, but go ahead.
let's just say with all this effort that I've been doing, I've noticed a vast increase in terms of the interaction I get from people. And I only started doing this about the middle of February, I think.
Okay.
End of January. And my stats have gone really through the roof, kind of, compared to what happened when I first started. I mean, wasn't getting any activity.
Mark, is there any chance you could, I think if you unzip your zipper a little bit, so I think it's catching your microphone.
Oh,
The touch, so we can hear you better. There you go.
I'll just pull it out.
Oh yeah, much better, much better. Thank you.
I gave you the gold chains here. Anyway,
go ahead.
I'm looking at my stats here, and one of the things that I'm looking at here is just what I get from my emails. And in the last month, I've had 226 sessions. 50% of them are new. Contact created conversion rate is like 50%. Shopping page visit conversion rate is 66. And product buying page is 34. And then you get to add to cart, it's only 0.88%. And then checkout conversion is 0. So I'm curious about, if you guys think if there's a way that I can increase those last two conversion rates.
I'm pulling it up so I can see what you're seeing. I was looking at the fourth quarter of last year. Okay, so I'm just looking at all of this year. Is that what you're looking at?
No, I'm looking at, I think the last month. Let me see here. Yeah, the start date was 2/29 and the end date is 4/01.
It should be okay either way. But Pat, should I share my screen here?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Okay. Okay, can you guys see this?
Yep, we got it.
Yep. That
Okay.
looks familiar.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at 2020 because there's more data here, so all that stuff should show up anyway. So it's interesting how your email list is opting in again because they're already on your email list.
Well, what happens is that's a result of the contest.
Oh, I see.
That I'm running.
Gotcha.
I get people that are already on my email list that are signing up.
Got it.
But I actually have 211, I think, new emails since the beginning of. Well,
And what is this? What is this? What is this mobile? This m.facebook? What are those ads?
I did make an ad on Facebook here that was like, I only paid $25 for it and it ran for 5 days.
I mean, all of your Facebook traffic, like for everyone watching, like this is really good numbers, right? Like you want this to be 5% or higher. And when I look at all three of your Facebooks, everybody's going to have that. You know, you've got the M stands for mobile. There's the regular Facebook and the L. Pat, do you know what is the L again?
Yeah, it's sort of a mixed up bag how they send it all, and I don't even think they ever send it all cleanly. So you pretty much just have to look at it in entity. Mobile is definitely the mobile. I'll Google. I can't remember. I've Googled in the past, but I don't think any stock should be put into anything aside from the M dot.
But in general, like all of your Facebook is converting really well. You know, and that's a really good sign. So whatever you're doing there, like just keep doing it. Keep doing it. I know I'm not answering your exact question. I'm just telling you what I see.
Well, it's mostly daily posts. Sometimes I post fun stuff. Like I posted a video that I made in a gallery showing I did a while back, kind of vanity posts, pictures that I've done, and don't put any links on them to my website. I kind of find that when I put a link in there, that sometimes Facebook cuts the feed off on those. At least that's my opinion.
No, it's not opinion. It's fact. It doesn't mean you don't do it, but yeah.
I don't like. I'm concerned that your direct traffic, you know, right here isn't getting any add to carts, because that should be like some of your most qualified traffic. That's a little weird. Pat, do you have any thoughts on that?
Say it again. I was futzing around.
His direct traffic is getting no add to carts.
Yeah, very well could be a lot of him. We've said this before. Taylor, get a link for this thing again in the show notes. But
this is the thing, though, is that like just
there's a Chrome extension that blocks it.
Just so you know that like the Art Storefronts app, if you're logged in, it's blocking you regardless. So that little Chrome extension is not going to add that much extra, but it's good to have.
Yeah, got it.
So if it's not him, then you know it's a little concerning that nobody's buying on that. That's your direct traffic. I mean, so this is interesting here. You've got a lot of metal options and a lot of paper options, and the acrylic way more than I like to see.
Yeah, you know, I've gotten some comments from people that it's been kind of confusing to go to your buying page, and I've been thinking about doing two things, and one of them is to reduce the number of options here on the buying page. And then the other thing is to consolidate all my images into a larger collection. So when they scroll through them, there's not so many categories.
Yeah, that might help. I see. I'm not in love when people change all of these because I know that they work, you know, by default. But I'm okay with that if you really feel like it's helping you. The media.
I don't really know for sure. I did a thing where I made notes on all the changes that I made I make changes once a month. Yeah. I make notes about what I did and I see if there's any kind of difference, but I think there's a conglomerate of things that are happening that are changing the way.
That's the problem, you know, that could be a problem, but I don't think that necessarily, like when you say print image on, image size, choose additional styles. I don't think there's anything that's just stopping people there, but right off the bat, I think, you know, we take for granted, and especially somebody like you who's, you know, been printing art or photography for a while, right? Yeah. You said you were a Breathing Color customer since 2005 or in 2005?
Yeah, I've been printing on Breathing Color papers, since about 2005, 2006.
That's awesome. That warms my heart.
Yeah.
That warms my heart.
I actually have tried quite a few different papers, but I kind of settled on the optical one because I like its crispness and its velvety look. I think it's just a gorgeous paper. But so I also print on some Moab papers too. But
yeah, so the thing is that you know these papers and these products inside and out, and so do I, and so does usually most photographers and artists, and we take for granted how little the consumer knows. And so if you hit them with like smooth fine art paper 3 that has, right, like textured fine art paper, satin fine art paper, they're already like, wait, like which one is the right, the right one? And especially if they don't know you and they're not able to talk to you right off the bat. And like, you know, it's really enough to stop somebody right in their tracks. Now you got canvas gallery wraps here, but then you got canvas prints, and then you've got, you know, a bunch of different acrylic options. You've got a bunch of different metal options. And so that could be stopping them right in their tracks right there, you know? And so I always say one art paper, maybe one photo paper if you want to have one, but one art paper, textured or smooth, one metal, you know, one canvas, if I didn't say that already, acrylic, and wood if you want to offer that, and if your fulfillment partner has it. And that's basically it.
I think Bay Photo does offer it. But yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it.
I think your sizes, you're fine. I always recommend, I mean, you've cut this down pretty significantly. I have no problem personally having like 10 to 12 sizes. I don't think it's hurting you, but like just going from low to high, just to make sure that you're not missing anything that somebody might want in between. 70 by 30 is pretty good. Like that's pretty big. I think you're pretty good. I think you're good there. That's the only comment I have though right here is when I see that the add to cart rate is lower than what it should be. Have you seen the art sales funnel checklist, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
you might need to look at it in a little more depth.
Yeah, I would look at the product buying page conversion rate, because I want to make sure, I'm trying to think off the top of my head whether this should be like, whether like the numbers you have here are good. They may be good. And if they are good, then you want to look at the add to cart conversion rate. And normally when you have a problem here, it's because something might be confusing right around here, you know, or it could be a pricing. It could be a pricing issue. It could be a confusion issue. And that's really all I see. I mean, I think I don't mind anything else on here aside from like, I mean, all of these opt-ins look really good. In fact, they almost look too good. Yeah, I think I would probably make that change and just keep going, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and make less options in terms of the media, and then more size options, make a note of what I did and look at it again in a month and see how that works.
Yeah.
I think your idea is great. I've sort of heard that from other people mention that. So yeah, that's helpful.
Very good. Okay. Nick.
So thanks you guys. You guys are great.
No problem, Mark.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Okay. All right, Stephen, you're next. You're up.
Okay.
Stephen, what's your question?
I have several questions. I've actually, oh, wait a second. There. You see me? Can you see me?
We're looking at your foot.
Oh, I got the camera reversed. Sorry about that. Wait a second. How do you reverse the camera? Switch camera.
There you go.
You see me now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Look, I've taken your idea of getting the Instagram influencers. I've been on Instagram. I got 13 of them out. Gas Bomb Girl got back to me. She was gracious enough to be, I've been kind of like.
First of all, good job on that.
Well, yeah, no, I got to learn how to use the tools, and I have to be adept at that, because part of the game is pivoting and hitting the market. But here's, I've gotten one response. Gas Bomb Girl said she's too busy to take that on, but she liked my work. She looked at my work. So I mean, I can't be too disappointed in that. That's my initial. Okay, so now I'm looking at my figures have been lately in the last 3 weeks. I was getting 500. Now it sucks. It's like I'm in the 200s but there's some things that I don't understand. I'm noticing I have a lower bounce rate. Okay, but people aren't. When I get the lower bounce rate, I find that people aren't spending as much time on my site.
Yeah, but
Also,
Stephen, you don't have enough traffic to really be worrying about those statistics yet. It's just it's a phrase called statistical significance. If you don't have enough, it's all you're doing is misleading yourself.
Okay, so that the thing is, so the one thing I should be looking at is visits.
Yeah, and opt-ins to your email list.
And opt-ins, and I was getting like 1%, 2% on a couple of channels. Now that's gone to 0. So, I don't know if it's just the COVID stuff or what's happening, but it's dropped. And I was kind of like getting a foothold, but I kind of like have backslid a little bit. But I
don't think so. I think you just got to keep moving forward. You just got to keep adding more and keep going after, that's it.
I'm just finishing, how I did that survey asking which image that I wanted my viewers to pick. And I've gone through the next stage. I've done a time lapse. I finished a time lapse painting of it. I'm going to put that up today. And the next part of it is introducing the giveaway, So I'm going to give away a print of that, which means I have to get a proof out real quick, but I think I can do it within the time frame and get it to the people. I don't think that's a problem. I mean, just, I don't know how else to put it, but I'm kind of like just trying to follow the playbook and do it. I mean, I've been at this since August, and it's kind of, I just have to be grindingly efficient and disciplined about it. I guess it's rinse and repeat, and I haven't done that enough. But any thoughts?
Keep going after that list. Keep going after it. That's all there is, right? Like you got to.
It takes time. It takes time.
Yeah, you got to keep moving. You got to get people to opt in. If you can't, and you've exhausted everything, then you're at the end of your road at some point, right? But you've got to exhaust everything and keep going, and just it is what it is, right?
I mean, I don't think my work sucks. I mean, you've seen my work. I mean, right? People have sold stuff like that before.
Oh yeah.
The thing that I'm in a disadvantages is I can't do the live thing right now, which is kind of frustrating. I've actually gone to, like, on Main Street, all these little galleries and photo galleries. One guy that had a big refinishing furniture business that also put galleries said if I printed up a big piece, he would put it in my and framed it, which it probably cost me $300. He would show it in his store. So it's the shoe leather. I'm doing that, but I can't do a lot of that right now.
Yeah, exactly. So like your biggest disadvantage, more than likely because you're in Venice Beach, we know you're in Venice, is that you can't get out in person yet, right? Because of this pandemic. Because there's a thriving like show market and in-person market in all of Southern California, right? But here's what I want to say is you got one no from some person on that tactic. Go get 30 no's. You know what I mean? Like, we need a lot more no. Like, we haven't gotten anywhere yet. Like you got to pound that pavement online and find those groups and find those people and find the ones who want to share your art.
And I know there's a niche. I know that's a niche. I know people like.
For sure. There's surf art. There's wave art. There's all sorts of stuff like that. Like, contact every single one of them that you can find. With that offer.
My next thing that I'm tactic is I'm going to try to also get the interior designers involved. I have a few interior designers on my list. I think I'm established enough that I can approach them and say that. So that's another thing. And
that's the same thing too. Like, you want to contact like 50 of those. You know what I mean? By email, like write a one-off email to each of them, call them.
Yeah. I believe you, because when I broke into the entertainment industry, I was in architecture. I sold, I sent out 100 packages of my full color work and everything. And 3 people called back. 1 person hired me, and that was my entree. And for the next 10 years, that's how I got my leads. I started off there and I branched out. So I'm just, so a year is not even really enough time to even get established from your experience, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not that it's a year. It's that, you got to focus on the right things, like right as quickly as possible. Like if it were me and I were in your shoes, I would literally get up tomorrow and I would contact 100 probable group owners. I'm a little crazy though, and then on Sunday,
I
would
like that.
contact 100 more. And then on Monday, I'd contact 100 more. Yeah, I would just never stop because I realized that I want to do all that stuff up front, because that's the only way that this is, that this is going to happen. Right. And so it's like, you think about sales, right? Like you got to get to 20 no's to get a yes sometimes. Right. Or whatever that quantity is. And so the longer that you take to do that, the longer it's just going to take. And that's why I'm just telling everybody, like, you got to hammer that list and you got to just really outreach and spend your time on that. So I think you've got the right things going right now. Like you totally have the right thoughts. I would just say just really do that a lot, do a lot more of it,
But good questions, and keep plugging away. Keep plugging away. Okay, Betty, you're up next. Betty Frank's going to unmute you right now.
All right. Hello.
Hey, Betty, how you doing?
Doing well. Doing well. I'm in California, so
Me
doing
too.
well at home. So my question is this. It has to do with MailChimp, and I'm trying to figure out an answer. Last Saturday, I did a live online session, and because I had to reschedule my Albuquerque workshop that I did, push that out to October. So I ended up doing a live online session. Second one I've done this year, and it was super successful, which I was really pleased with. But one of the issues I ran into is that a number of folks couldn't get my emails because they are listed as, what is that word? They are getting, transactional emails only. And I'm trying to figure, are you guys familiar with that?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
they're marked in there as transactional emails only. They couldn't get my emails. I cannot figure out how did they get that way, because my sign up process, if you go to my website, it's Betty Krause Art, is you have to check a box that says, I agree to allow, to receive emails from you. And then there's a couple of other options, like if you want to know about my local events and also about my workshop. So I can't figure out how to fix this. Any help that you can offer?
Yeah, this is definitely, I want our support team to get on this right away. I see Giovanna's on here, and I think Emily's on here too, probably. Hey guys, oh yeah, she is. Can you guys reach out to Betty? Can we have someone reach out to Betty right away? And then we just need to test that and just run through the whole loop for Betty and just see what happens. Like if they come into MailChimp as transactional or not, like from art storefronts. And then,
well, it's not all of them. It's just, it was a handful of them. And that's what makes this so much harder to figure out. Why is it just these few? Like one person just signed up at the beginning of March.
I've seen that. I've seen that happen. I think I've seen that happen. Like if like they go to unsubscribe or something, and then they're given the option, like, do you want to like unsubscribe from the regular list, but still
Emily is saying she knows how to fix this. Hold on.
Okay.
Emily, I'm unmuting you. Go ahead.
Great. Hey, Betty, we'll give you a call. This is easier to do over a screen share. It should only take about 5 minutes or so, and we'll fix it, and we'll go over those contacts with you and just see, if there's anything that stands out to us. But I think I know what's going on, so no worries. We'll email you right now and figure out a good time.
Okay. Thanks, Emily. Again, it's Betty Krause Art.
Got it. Thanks, Betty.
Thank
Betty,
you.
are you, before I let you go, Betty, are you the one doing the live workshops that you're charging for?
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
I love that too.
So
you guys, I heard you guys say that you get
yes.
a ticker that tells you that you're getting sales. And I'm thinking, yeah, you probably saw a lot of them coming in from me this past week and a half.
Yeah.
So you've been selling the online one, right?
Yeah. So what I did was, I did this also back in January. I did a live, it's called Paint with Betty. It's a 2-hour session on Zoom. Zoom is not the best platform. I'm going to look for another one because it was quite the nightmare. But once it worked, it worked. And basically what I did was in January, my price was higher. But because I had to move my Albuquerque workshop and push it out to October, I thought, I'm going to do another live online session, and I'm going to do it at half the price, because I know a lot of people are out of work and they're very stressed out, but yet at the same time, they need a little bit of art relief. So for the folks on my email list, it was $25. I had about 3,000 people on that list. And I sold about, how many did I sell to them? I have a list, I wrote it down somewhere. Anyway, I think I did about 200 in sales to them. And then then it went up to $35. They had 4 days to sign up at 25, then it went up to 35. And then on my social media, on Instagram especially, because I have a really large following there, I posted it for 35 for 4 days, and then it went up to 45. So I did over 10,000 in sales.
Whoa,
that's amazing.
For the 2-hour session, which was 2.5 hours, but that's okay. I also recorded it. I learned from my January session that Zoom is kind of a low quality when you save it to their local servers. Yeah. So I recorded it on my camcorder, and this time I uploaded it to my YouTube channel as a private link for only folks who purchased it, and the quality is so much nicer. So awesome. I had 2 cameras. I had my camcorder, and then I had a webcam playing at the same time. So I had quite the setup with lights and everything. But yeah, so it was great, and I've got people asking for another one, so I'll probably do another one in about a month or so. But I love art storefronts, but you guys are making this part of my job difficult, and that is that when I have a product like this, I need a specific email to go out to these folks that that says, here's your link for the live, you know, join me here, but I have to manually do this. So I really worked hard for that money. It was an administrative nightmare to do it all. So I wish there was a better solution so that it makes it a little bit easier, because I know right now it's just one generic email that goes out. If you make a sale, it's just one email. So I would love, you know, an opportunity to be able to customize my emails so that if I sell a print, it's one thing. If I sell a actual piece of, or a piece of artwork, an original, I'd like to do a different one. And then if I sell my workshop, I'd like to do yet a third type of email. So I'll pass that along.
Yeah, no, that topic has been discussed kind of widely internally. And it's I don't know what the status necessarily of it is, but you know, especially at this time, like a lot of people are pivoting and doing a lot of creative stuff to make money. So I think it's a little bit more relevant than any other time, even though it's relevant anyway, right? Because I mean, we're all about, at Art Storefronts, like we are all about, like, you know, you guys making money however you make money, right? Like we had this new feature that we released recently, like the upload to print, like, you know what I mean? Where you can like essentially be your own print shop. That'll apply to some people and others it won't, but it doesn't matter, because it's like, you'll sell your art, you might sell your services like you are. The same thing might happen for a photographer, like, you know, doing different types of shoots. So it makes sense. We hear you. We definitely hear you. So I want you to know that.
You guys are good at that.
Yeah. And we, you know, obviously there's no shortage of features that we release, and I can assure you it's on the list, and we hear you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
So we'll keep you posted.
Okay.
And then also too, Betty, on the when Emily sends you that email, CC me on it, Emily, and then like I can help you with all the tech stuff, because we're so far in the weeds with all that. I can tell you exactly what you need in terms of a setup to make your life significantly easier. So
cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Great question. Congrats though. I love that creativity. I think it's an amazing product to sell. I really do. Okay. Next is Laura. You're up again. I'm going to unmute you right now. Laura, go ahead. Oh, not yet. Something weird going on. You have to get that mic thing that you did last time. Okay, there you go.
Okay, hi. Thanks again for doing this, learning a lot. So quick question. First of all, I had asked this a while back when I first signed up. Could you guys do an audit on some of our sites? For example, all my artwork is the Suma ink style watercolorish and black and white pet portraits. And I'd like to get recommendations on what materials would look best on it. I got some samples. The acrylic looked beautiful. The metal print looked cool, and the canvas, but I would just, getting more guidance on what materials itself would look the best on it. I had to kind of shoot from the dark, and hearing somebody else that said their black and whites looked really great on it. I wasn't sure about how much should it be the high gloss or the, dull gloss on it, just from you guys knowing the materials and knowing what really pops the best on that. Is that something that you guys are thinking of going into on some of our sites and making recommendations on, what materials would look best? And then, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, believe it or not, I've never been asked that question. Usually because the artist has their own opinion on what they think looks best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you have all the flavors. If you want like high pop, then you go for the glossiest stuff that is awesome.
But I think that it doesn't always translate that way because my art is very stripped down. If you go to poppapaper.com, you'll see that it's all custom pet portraits. It's all black and white. And there's a lot of grays, and it's more about the technique. POPOFPAPER.
I'm going there right now.
Okay. So I do the Suma ink Japanese style, and it's all black and white. And because it's so stark, it's really the strokes and the technique that kind of pops it out. And so I was a little disappointed with the what was I gonna get? The paper prints are the same paper prints. I realized I can go with the lower level quality paper, and that's fine. Yes, right there. So if you click on those portraits,
these are beautiful.
Thank you. So so it's capturing the pet's cheese. So as you can see, there isn't much on there. It's very minimal. So I found that on the acrylic with that super bright white, it's really beautiful and feels high end. But on the metal, I did get the metal print. It didn't have that kind of pop, and I wasn't sure if it was because I didn't have the higher glass sheen. It's more going outside of my scope.
So what metal print did you get? Did you get this metal clear gloss?
Yes, the one that's down. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, I would go for the white gloss.
White gloss. Okay,
yeah,
see, that's what I'm talking about. Like
the white gloss is totally different. It's going to be more like the acrylic.
Okay. Yes. Great. So that's what I had asked way back to get that type of feedback. So that when I did get my sample from your recommendation, then I could have that to use that. So that was kind of the type of guidance that I wanted. And then also, I'm not sure that the wood would really work for my artwork.
Yeah, I don't know either. So you might deactivate that. It's up to you. I mean, you'd have to really see one and look because if it's fine, if you're okay with it, I would offer it.
Okay.
Because for interior designers, you want to give yourself like the maximum opportunity, for any type of sale. The things that I don't like on here though, that I think you might want to consider changing is there's too many papers. There's too many pieces. This description is way too long. I think you got to just pick the canvas that you believe is best for your customer and go with that.
Okay.
And also when it comes to like the economy canvas or a regular like archival canvas, right? Because it's really what there is. There's really like economy, and then there's premium and like premium. I would, if you are okay with the economy canvas, it's more about your cost and what you're okay with than anything else. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. So I'm going to go with the economy. Then should I go with a high gloss for this, or should it be the matte? You mean
you're not going to go with the economy? Is that what you said?
No, I want to go with the economy. So just
okay. So there's only one economy option, and I think it's kind of a satin, which is a semi-gloss.
Okay, and that's the one that I got, and I was happy with that. Okay. Great.
Okay. Yeah, and
perfect.
And then I wouldn't call it economy canvas. I would just call it canvas.
Okay. That's
your
great.
customer doesn't need to know that you're saving money on that canvas.
Yeah.
They just need to know it's canvas. It's TMI. It's too much information, right?
Yeah.
And then on the paper, I don't know if I would. Well, I guess you might want to offer the economy matte photo paper, but I would just call it a matte photo paper.
Okay. Oh, and then okay, matte photo paper. The other thing that I realized is that I also got I got the metallic paper thinking that that would really be similar to the metal itself, and it wasn't. You couldn't tell the difference.
No,
And that's what I was talking about. Like, I would have loved to have that kind of guidance to saying what my product will look good on certain paper. So I felt like I spent money on items that was to me a total waste, because it's expertise that you guys would have known that would have said no. I just, like with the metal, you recommended to have the white clear glass that'll make it pop.
I would have told you. I would have told you to buy the metallic paper.
Okay.
I don't know why you don't like it. I personally love that paper. It's all subjective.
Yeah, I couldn't, to be honest, when I saw, and that's what I'm talking about with the artwork. When I looked at it with my artwork, it looked exactly the same as it did with a semi-gloss paper option that I had gotten as well. I could not tell the difference. And so that's why I felt very disappointed, because I thought I would be able to see the difference between them. That's where I think the art affects what it looks like. So that was kind of a little bit of a learning curve. So,
yeah, I think the main point there is that, like, what I like is going to be completely different from what you like. And that's why you just want to offer like the range of roughly 5 media types, and that's it. Because, you know, pick the best canvas, pick the best photo paper, you know, if you're going to have one, pick one fine art paper, you know, pick one metal and a wood and acrylic if you're going to offer it.
Okay. And then one other question, I do a lot of craft fairs. And so what I really liked on the site was that you have that option on the right when you go into the pages where you can click, and it gives you the little downloadable piece that you can print out that people can that has a QR code, and then you can print out.
Right.
So my question on that though is that I'm a graphic designer by day, and I don't feel like I have enough design ability to move to, for example, the images are too small. It's like I can't control how the typography and how the descriptions are going to look like. It's just a very tiny bit of my photo, you know, then the words are really big, and then the QR code. I think I would like to redesign that. I was wondering if there's a way or template that you guys can come up with where we can do it and print it out, like put 4 on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and then I can just cut it really quickly and have those there. Because I think the whole point of that you were saying, which I thought was brilliant, was that if you print out these sales sheets, quote unquote sales sheets, that's what I'm calling them, that I can put them into the bag or it can be out and people can scan them when they're there. I could even have mini posters of that with a scan, and they can scan right there and it takes them to the site.
Which one are you referring to? Are you referring to the product selling sheet or the catalog?
Yes. Yeah, the product selling sheet. When you
okay, did you notice that since you're a graphic designer, this could be useful for you. If you're editing any products in the site manager and you scroll down to the very bottom on the info tab, the QR code is there. It's isolated. And so you can grab that, and like that's what I usually do is like I copy that, throw it right into Photoshop, and then you can create your own little title card or whatever you want.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I thought that was really brilliant that you're able to do that, you know, and then having it, you could also print out smaller sheets of that, put that into people's bags when they're buying. They don't need to know about it. And then when they're home, they go, oh, this is cool. And then they could scan the QR code, and that's another touch point to get them onto your site.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
By the way, so did you create all this work?
Yes, I did.
That's awesome. I personally love it.
Thank you so much. So I've been getting a lot of feedback on it. So I'm just trying to get traction on it. And
you're going to do great.
Thank you. I have 14,000 followers, people that see me, like they've never seen anything like it before, but I'm having a hard time like making those online sales and, you know, so, but I think it's because I'm not doing the Facebook ads, and I'm a little bit concerned about spending money on ads when given the economy, and I'm a freelancer by day and I do this on the side. So I'm just trying to figure out where to best use my money, the little that I have, you know, and with the way the economy is right now. So I'm not quite sure, like, should I hold on to my money and just kind of hope the free stuff that I'm doing on Instagram is pushing enough people and just constantly tell my story and just try to get them to understand my process and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think, I mean, we've talked to quite a few here of people doing like pet painting, custom portraits, things like that. I mean, Pat, I could just kick this over to you. But yeah, I think you could dabble with the ads, but I would be I think that if you have not fully exhausted this contacting of Facebook groups and Instagram accounts playbook that we have, like you should exhaust that to, you know, the nth degree as far as you can take it. And I without repeating it, like the playbook is in there. It'll be in the show notes, and it's in the pandemic response kit, and it's in the ideas to generate leads. Because you can target so well, because you're doing like pet portraits, you should be able to take this really far.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Art. I'm utterly amazed at like the sheer number of artists that the pet niche supports. It's like insane.
It's massive. I remember learning early in my career in this industry. I don't know, 3 years in, I've been in the art industry for 20 years now, maybe more. That like there's like 3 genres that sell better than anything else. And it's like, first of all, it's families, like family photos, family art, family, you know, commissions, things like that. And then the second one is pets, you know? So like, if those are the top 2, if you can play in that area, you know, there's a ton of volume.
For sure. Okay, Deborah, you're up next. I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you. Go ahead, Deborah.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Deborah.
So I have a question about the new print to upload feature. I've got it launched on my website, and I sent it to a couple of friends just to get their feedback and such. And so the question I got from somebody was, why are your fine art prints so much more expensive than the ones that I upload with my family and pets, etc.? If they are on the same media, you know, coming from the same printer, aren't art prints just photos too? Why is there a difference in price? And I didn't quite know the best answer.
I mean, that's fascinating. It's your art, it's your product. Like, you know what I mean? It's that.
Well, I kind of told her, well, so when you're you know, when you're getting my stuff, you're also paying for a bit of my, you know, my creativity, my work that I did, etc. But the way she was seeing it, and I'm guessing others would too, is that this is just a picture of something on paper or canvas or whatever. Why am I paying more for it? So I guess I didn't have a good enough pitch to.
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to get that very often. I mean, any logical person knows that your art has value. It's like the photograph of them and their image, it's theirs. It doesn't have value to anybody but them, you know?
I guess some people just, oh, this person anyhow, you know, wasn't, you know, couldn't see it that way.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, right? Like, because I mean, I could show you a Peter Lick photograph that's printed on the same metallic paper that you guys are probably using, you know, and that thing is like $10,000, right? So, and you can also upload to print right now and get one for $40. So that seems like, I don't know. I don't know if the person was, you know, you know, savvy enough, or you don't even have to be that savvy. It's just like art obviously has value in it. It's your art, it's your creativity.
That's what I try to put forward.
Yeah, if you're really concerned about it and you find that this happens a lot, then don't offer the same media type on your upload to print store as you do on your art.
Well, that would be kind of difficult though, I think. I've just got.
I agree. I think you know, your art has value because it's yours. You set the price. You know what I mean?
Well, so that's what I said. So I guess that's the right thing. I wasn't sure if there was something else I should be, you know, I should be saying, but.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think you say.
Okay, and so I have another quick question about media. So I have right now both on the acrylic media, both the 1/4 inch and 1/16 inch, and just wondering if there's one of those that I could eliminate. Is there one that's better than the other or more popular? Just trying to hone down my number of media that I offer.
I think the 1/4 inch is more popular.
Okay.
So you could eliminate the 1/16. The 1/16 is, I think it's a slightly cheaper option.
It is a little bit
expensive. Yeah.
Okay, so just go with the 1/4 inch.
If you want to eliminate one, I would go with the 1/4 probably, just because it's much more common.
Yeah. Okay. And on the it's in the same vein, on my print to upload store, I have 3 canvases: the standard canvas, then the premium matte, and the premium glossy. I'm wondering if I could also eliminate the premiums and just stay with the standard, because I find the quality is pretty good from what I've got. So I just have one canvas.
If you feel that way, then I would probably do that, because I think people will be less, they don't really know. It's funny, like people don't really know when something is glossy or matte most of the time, like unless you bring it up, you know, it's just the art is the art or the picture is the picture. So, you know, I would do that.
Yeah. Okay. Because I think
Thanks, Sarah.
People have said that they're just having too many options. It's confusing.
Yeah, you can always bring them back, but I would try that.
Okay. Great questions. All right, we're to Temi. Temi, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Sure can.
Great. Thanks for doing this. I just want to explain a few things. I'm a homeschool mom, so I really don't have the time to do the shows and stuff that you all have been recommending, and I understand the rationale behind them. And prior to returning to art, I've been an occupational therapist for over 25 years. So a lot of people know me as a therapist. So now that I'm back into art, a lot of people are surprised. They love my work, and which is good. And I'm pretty good at doing the one-on-one conversations where I talk about my art, what my mission is, etc. And it's been working. Now, lately, I had to change the design of my website because I'm kind of, how can I put it? I'm a little bit anal. I noticed that a lot of people had signed up last year when I was doing the free giveaways, but they were signing up because they wanted the giveaway. And I realized that these people aren't going to buy anything. So, and when I did send out my emails, a lot of them were unsubscribing, which is fine by me. I really don't care. It's like, unsubscribe, that's good. You're one less person I have to worry about. Sorry for that attitude, but I don't dwell on it. So now I'm having more people sign up. It's slow, but these are quality people that I know will eventually buy something from me because I know them personally. The question that I have is, a couple of them have been onto the website and they say that I've actually been asked this, why is your work so cheap? It's hard to fathom when they use the word cheap. And I know they're trying to use the word inexpensive. And what I explained to them is, oh, it's just the print you're getting. You're not getting it framed. And they were very dismissive. So then I changed my website around whereby I provided with the frame. And I had some people that actually liked it with the framing. So now what I'm doing is I'm providing the prints with the framing. Mind you, I know the people that I'm targeting. The question is, I cannot change the recalculation or the recalculate button on the website in the back end. It's still giving the original price. So for example, the paper prints with the matting, they look beautiful. I actually have one at home. People have seen it. Let's say the starting price is $150. When you go on my website, it shows $47 as a starting price, which is a... Have
you talked to the technical support team about this?
Yes, I have a couple of times.
Emily and Giovanna, can you guys escalate this? We can't handle technical questions on here.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it out there. I'm sorry I had to do it that way. No I'm sorry.
We'll escalate this and we'll figure out what the deal is.
Okay, and another thing, I want to, can you look at my site quickly, or do we do this later on to tell me, am I doing it the right way? Because you guys have recommended do not have a large banner, but then there's, you've recommended
What's your website address?
TemiFineArts with an S.com. And I had a large banner on my main page before. And I think I put that large banner on the collections page, the screen, so that.
This is beautiful.
So that people, it's a year doing this in the middle of the night while you're homeschooling during the day. My kids are upstairs.
Okay, so yeah, so you do have, so you've got the lead capture just popped up, and you've got a giveaway here. This is what you want to have as the best practices is to have the 20% off here or 15% off. But you're right, because if you do it this way and you don't like, the reason you have to have the discount, the first order discount, is because it will qualify every bit of traffic that comes to the site, because people aren't usually ready to buy art like on the spot, and they will later, right? But if you give them a first time discount opportunity and they take it, then you know that in their mind, they may buy at some point, right?
Okay, to be honest, I just changed this 3 days ago. So I had it before, so I just changed it around to,
I love your logo. Beautiful.
I did it myself. Great.
It's beautiful. I love it. Super high end. I would move it up. You can do that in the theme editor to not.
I can't. I'm struggling with it.
They'll help you. The tech support team will do it for you. They'll help you.
Okay.
If you're going to have a billboard, this is how you do it. So good job, because it's not taking a bunch of real estate, you know, and you're getting right into your art. So, you know, I would prefer, you notice like this above the fold, I'm not seeing your art yet. So, you know, that's
if I can move it up.
It's the argument to get away from this. I don't think this is adding much value to you, this billboard, you know? So it's your call, but if you get rid of it, it's done. Problem solved. All this art will be there. Like you'll see it like in the middle of the screen, right when you land on the site. And that's what I would like. That's what I think is really good. This is really good. This is really good. You know, and when people were asking you about your pricing, I mean, was it just a matter of like, I want to look at your media types. Sometimes like, I mean,
yeah, you can see right there.
Yeah. Okay. So you got, so it's 169, and you're not offering it without a frame now?
No, I am offering the paper prints have to, I'm sorry to use the word have to be framed, because I just personally, I've been to certain events where they gave me the paper print and I just tossed it in the room. I didn't even care how much I spent on it.
You could offer matted, where it comes in a mat. You know, it's pretty nice. Like it's like in a, you know how like a mat in a frame, but it'll just come in like a white mat. And
do they have to go to the store and frame it once they receive it? They can't, it's not ready to hang?
Correct. Yeah, they'd have to buy a frame, you know, or
See,
something.
The people I'm talking about have their offices, their businesses. So when I talk to them, it's basically in relation to, you know, how my artwork will benefit them and their clientele and their patients. So I basically advertise, you receive it, it's ready to hang, take it out of the box, put it on the wall, you know, in your office.
Gotcha.
So that's a pretty quick sales pitch, and they like that aspect of it.
Gotcha. Then I think you're fine. I like what I see.
Okay.
I think the only thing I would say here is like, you got, I mean, if that's the case, I would probably deactivate this canvas prints, because this is a loose canvas.
Yeah. Do you know why I did that?
How come?
I made a sale a couple of weeks ago to a client in the UK, and it just made more sense to have the print sent in scroll, not a scroll, you know what I mean, in the tube.
Rolled up. Yeah.
Yes, which I think I reported in the group that they had received it, and thank God it had rained and they hadn't packaged it properly, but it wasn't damaged, thank God. But they sent another one to her. So I'm just doing that for my UK clients. And now I'm having to deal with the whole customs thing, because they're not aware that they have to pay extra to receive their stuff. So I don't know if I should just totally cancel the idea of selling to people in the UK because of this. I'm just praying about it, or just listening to you guys right now to.
Yeah, I would post that. People have gone through that before. I would just post it in the group, in the small wins group, and see what other people do. You should add it into your terms if it's not there already. And then
it's there.
Okay.
But I don't think they're reading it.
Yeah, you could put it somewhere a little bit more prominent, you know, and stuff like that. And there's ways to handle it gracefully too when you get an order. But that's a perfect thing to discuss with the other members.
All right. God bless you. Thank you.
You too.
Thanks. Okay. Getting back up here. Mute. All right, Kim Winberry, you're up. You're unmuted.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I just launched my site last Friday. Very excited.
Good job.
I had a technical audit, went through everything. I've actually started my giveaway, doing the new website promotion.
Fantastic. Yep.
I've reached into every pond I could find, from LinkedIn to Instagram to Facebook to Pinterest to everything. And I've got 18 new subscribers on my email, 26 new contacts in my art storefronts, and I've got my first sale.
Yes.
Hey, congrats.
So I'm very excited, and I wanted to share, and I wanted to, maybe if you guys wouldn't mind taking a look.
At your site?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it?
It's waterplusinc.com.
Waterplusinc.com.
And do this. Yeah, do the share again. Yeah.
Okay, so you put the giveaway on the lead capture.
Right, and I just saw that that's probably not what I should have done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's okay. Just you can change it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, if you're gonna use the billboard, you know, like this size is good, and the fact that you're showing like, what is this, 6 of your images on here, I like that, because then I'm not as concerned with it, you know, these being below the fold.
Right.
You know, so I'm cool with it.
Cool.
I think you've done a great job.
I was a lot of sleepless nights.
I like your font selection. It just kind of fits your art.
Right.
This one's cool. I don't know if these are a little too light. If you change the background color on these, or it might be the it's the font. It's the white on here.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just darken that up. It's a little hard to see. Again, I would follow the same instructions that I said about the media types. You know?
Right. I got that in my notes.
Yeah, one canvas, etc. Love the fact that you got the side-by-side products going here. Love it. Yeah, not too many sizes. You could have a couple more. 18 by, let me see, 11 by 8, 18 by 13.
It's, I don't know why there's such weird sizes.
You might jump to like 24 by something in there, between 18 and 28. It's kind of a big jump of 10 inches, you know? And then you might have like a 34 in here between the 40.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Just to add a few more in there.
Right.
You're good to go. I mean, I'm loving this.
Check out my coloring book. I have a coloring book at the top. This is.
Oh, nice. You did an experience page. Beautiful.
Yeah. It's.
Look at this, guys. This is great. Interactive coloring book. Oh yeah, you were telling us about that last time. So you can purchase it. So I assume, yeah, so this is going to link to that page.
Right.
On the site where you can buy it. That's perfect. You got a download button for it, how it works. Guys, if you haven't seen it, this is what you can do on an experience page. It's a full scrolling page. You can have it so that the navigation doesn't show as well if you want to, but it's basically like a way to tell a story, like she is here. Ready, aim, zap. This is super cool. That's awesome.
And then I did the same thing with my videos. I started putting up time-lapse videos.
Cool.
Same.
Oh, I like in the video section?
Yeah. I just started doing that. So, and then
Very cool. Nice. Yeah, this is great. This is, I mean, it's funny. We released the experience pages and it was literally like, I feel like it was the next day that the whole pandemic situation happened. And, or like it really, you know, it really became a thing. And we had all these plans on giving, like, providing all these different examples of how you should use them. And we're going to do it. We're just focusing on the marketing right now for the time, right? But I'd love to see you doing it, because what you're doing is like an example of like how we kind of foresee it in certain cases, like telling the story of a new piece, and you can have a time-lapse video showing it getting created, and then, you know what I mean? And then you can add like 4 slides on there that really bring somebody in to the whole story. And then at the bottom, you know, there's a link to just go to shop for it, you know?
Right.
So,
you know, I had, I was able to talk to technical support about putting anchor links and stuff. So I have a gallery up at the top with the images that will be able to pop you down further down to watch the video of that particular piece. So that's kind of not intuitive, that being able to put an anchor link in there. I don't know if that's something that has been asked for, or.
If you told the tech support team, they handle the feature request queue.
Well, I just
So-
did it myself because that's what I do during the day. But
Oh, I see.
I
Okay.
just went into the code. And okay, anchor link.
Nice. Well, they're on here. So if you guys
Yeah.
can jot that down, that would be great. But yeah, Kim, you're rocking. I'm thrilled for you.
Yep.
I'm
Get
so
marketing.
excited.
Get marketing.
Yeah,
That's it.
just keep going on the marketing. You know what to do. You know what
Yep.
to do.
All right. Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Kim. Okay, Meryl's up next, and then if anyone else has questions, raise your hands because she's the last question in the queue currently. But we're certainly willing to take as many as possible. Okay, Meryl, you're up.
Okay, can you hear me?
Sure
Yes.
can. Welcome.
Okay, great. Wow, hi. I'm totally overwhelmed with the last two speakers. I hate to say this, but I'm on the site for over a year, but I'm one of those real slow ones. And I've been listening to your stuff, just do the bare minimum. So I'm starting with all my, the calendar stuff, I'm following along. Okay. So I had asked a question just on small wins and they told me to ask it in this forum. Okay. But my biggest problem obviously is I'm not even on the train. I only have 95 Instagram followers. I only have maybe 210 Facebook followers. I have maybe 800 on my MailChimp, but that's, so I'm still way below a qualified thing. But I wanted to ask you about putting all of my pictures, my pieces up on the homepage. I didn't know how I was supposed to do that again. I wondered where that tutorial was for that. And in connection with that, I was wondering, I guess if you go to my site, you'll see, I didn't know whether to continue to still have my 3 categories, still list those as other different shops. And also when I place my pieces all on the home page, because I have about 53, and my listing, I paint in series. I have cars and doors and flora. Do you put them together or mix them? So do you want to go to my site at Meryl Cohen Art?
Yes. MerylCohen.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, basically I live out of the country, so it's not easy to do any of these fairs.
Yeah, so to get them all on one page, the support team can show you how to do that. It's basically just a product gallery page with everything on it.
Okay, because I'm not doing any of this technical stuff. I'm, one of,
yeah.
Okay,
it's really easy. It takes
people are helping me.
Probably
Okay,
1 or 2 minutes.
So someone will call me and help me do that, upload it. I've uploaded all my pages. If you see them up here in the arts shop, I have.
Yeah, they'll guide you how to do that. Emily and Giovanna, if you guys can have somebody reach out to Meryl with that information. Yeah, so in regards to like organizing them, it's your call. I always tend to say like, I would rank things by bestseller.
Okay.
Like most popular or bestseller.
Okay.
Reason being is because when people are coming to your site, random people that you've never met before and you don't know, you've only got one shot, right? There's this old saying in advertising that is like, you've got 3 seconds to hook them, right? You've got 3 seconds to hook somebody in an advertisement. And so that first sentence, if you have like a print ad or the first thing that they see, it's gotta be your best, right? Same thing with like a TV ad or radio. And so in the case of your website, I think following that rule is show them your best stuff, without making them have to work to see it. So you don't want them to have, and work on a website is clicking, page loads, scrolling, and so forth, right? So the sooner they see your best stuff, the sooner the odds are that they're gonna stay.
Okay, but I find that all subjective. Some people just love my cars, others just love my doors, others just love my flora. So I haven't been able to really find what my niche kind of is. I believe it or not, you can't tell, but this is all done with fabric. It's done with fabric and paint. So it's a very unique style that doesn't show up, as interestingly with the, on the web as it does.
Yeah.
So they're very unique. It's all done with fabric. My color box is all fabric.
I want to make sure that you're actually.
And I haven't had anybody, it doesn't even, Yeah, I mean, you could go to my statistics. It's really.
You should have at least a description here, and maybe there's a short description and there's a long description. You might want to write this down if somebody else is doing this for you.
Okay.
In the long description, have a couple of real life pictures of what it really does look like close up.
Okay.
So that we can really understand what you're like, because it just looks like a painting to me, you know?
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But that's where you have the opportunity for someone to really grasp like what it is, you know?
Okay, so there's a long or short description.
That would go in the long description.
Okay.
Because it's like you can hover over it and it'll pop up this window and it's not in your face, but when you hover over it, people will be able to, like, you could even have like 3 or 4 images in there if you want, you know, that really get people to understand what it is that you're offering. You don't have that many images. So I just think that you don't really have a problem with whether you have how you rank things. If you want to sort them by category on your homepage, I'm fine with that. It's just it's not going to be a lot of work for anyone because you just don't have enough, you know?
Well, but going back to what you said, give them a selection right away. That's why I was thinking of not putting all my cars first, because what if somebody wanted to see a door in that 3 seconds?
Yeah, exactly. So it's your
that's not all. I have 53 pieces. I don't know what you're looking at here. You're only
I'm basing it off the fact that you told me that there's 53.
Yeah,
That's just not
some of them in America. You could go to the Flora or whatever. Yeah.
But there's 53. So
yeah, there's 53.
They all can live on your homepage. You can organize.
And I should keep the categories under the art shop Americana like I had.
Yep.
Okay.
I love it. I'd like to see you get a professional logo.
Something what? Like what?
Yeah, go to Fiverr.com. That's what we recommend. Fiverr.com. You can spend $5 up to $150 depending on the quality of the designer, but you can get something decent for very cheap, even if you only want to spend $5. And you can, you know, and it'll raise the bar. You know, like, you've got a beautiful website. You got the best technology money can buy. Give yourself a logo. You know what I mean?
Okay, so on my statistics, I don't really understand how to really read them much, but it looks like I have a certain conversion, but nobody's going to my shop. I've made 1 sale off of, I've made private sales, you know, but I have only made one sale off my website.
Right, okay. I will.
So I'm going to do another giveaway right now, and I don't know whether to run that ad on Facebook then. I just heard what you said.
I'm going to look at your statistics while we're talking, but I mean, generally I'm going to guess what's happening, and there's not enough traffic because it's everybody's problem. But I'll just confirm that real quick. And so, yeah, hang on one sec. All right, it's running.
Okay. You told us not to spend a lot of time on other fancy things, but I could do triptychs. I could cut my pieces, my florals into, you know, 2 or 3 pieces, but I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, there's no point. There's no real point in doing that yet. Your entire problem, if you want to call it a problem, but your entire focus needs to be on traffic and generating emails and all that. I like that your direct traffic is opting in at almost 10%. Your Facebook's at almost 6%. That's fantastic. Like, that's a really good start. Yeah. So what you just need to do is you just need to amplify all of that, right? Like, follow the marketing strategy we've been telling everybody about. It's in the show notes. It's the contacting the Facebook groups and the Instagram accounts, you know, and, you know, get your art in front of a bunch of new people. And that's why I think right now during the pandemic, we are really hot on that one, because you can contact a ton of those different types of accounts, and we've got a whole playbook for it, like exactly the way that you want to approach them, exactly what you want to do with them. Like, you want them to run a giveaway. Like, just imagine if you could be running like 10 giveaways at once, right? With one account has 10,000 followers, and another one has this and that, and so forth. It's all about just getting more leads into your funnel, right? And
Correct.
having more of what I'm seeing here in your statistics happen. Like if you do that and you're maintaining, you know, a 10% direct rate, a, you know, 6% or a 5% Facebook rate, and it's even a little bit higher because you can see this Facebook right here. Facebook breaks it out into 3 different ones. So if you add all of these up and then, you know, you look at your total percentage, like that's why you just want to do more and more of that. And yes, right here, this product buying page conversion rate, I forget exactly what the number is, but I know that it needs to be higher than this. So you, this definitely supports the point of getting them all on one page. So that's a fantastic move.
So, okay, so I think that one of the last things you sent was, you know, how to word for your, you know, in this trying time for, that's the email you're referring to? That's the game plan you're referring to? I should.
No, that's the playbook I'm referring to is contacting Facebook groups, the owners or the moderator, I forget what they call it, of the Facebook group that has a lot of followers or members.
Yes.
And when you believe that the members in that group are people that would be qualified leads for you, you know?
Yes.
And you find as many of those that you possibly can, and you do the same thing on Instagram. And we have a playbook that shows you exactly how to do this. And then when you find them, we've written a copy for, like, you'll send a direct message to the moderator of the group or the owner of the Instagram account. And we wrote the copy for how to gracefully ask them to, like, collaborate and do something together.
Oh, I didn't see that. So where can you send me that link?
It's in the show notes.
Okay.
Can you guys link it again in the chat window here on Zoom? It'll be in the show notes. It's also, if you go to the marketing resource vault, it's in the ideas for how to generate leads, which is also in the show notes. It's always going to be in the show notes because we're always talking about it. Yeah.
Okay.
And
somehow I forgot that. Okay.
Yeah,
great.
you want that too. You want that too, Meryl, because
yes.
right now in the pandemic time, it's all about the digital strategy, which is why we're pushing that one specifically. But you definitely want to look at that ideas on how to generate leads, because it's going to have a lot of other things on there. And I think you being a creative person, you're going to look at that, all of the things that have worked for other Art Storefronts members, and you'll either do some of them or you'll come up with your own ideas. But that's how over time you're going to get a lot more, as I call it, ponds, right? Like, I want you to not have one fishing pole in one pond, which is what that's all anybody has. If all they're doing is doing a giveaway over and over with the same followers and the same email list that they have. You have to get outside of that, right? And have fishing poles in other ponds constantly to be growing your list and your following. And that's how you're getting new eyeballs constantly. And essentially what you're doing when you do that is you're just putting way more people into your sales funnel overall. And it's just a math game, right? The more people you put in, the more sales are going to pop out the bottom.
Great. That's what I need. Okay.
Awesome.
I'm with this one. Thank you so much, Nick.
Oh, you got it.
Continue your good work.
Thanks,
Thank
Meryl.
you.
Bye.
Okay, Marie, you're going to be up next. Hold on, let me get you unmuted. Okay, go ahead, Marie.
Hi.
Hey, Marie.
Thanks for doing this. And I just wanted to touch base on a question that I had gotten in at the very end on Friday during that 4-hour marathon.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. What do you got?
It took me a while to try to remember what my question even was, but I found my notes. Okay, so with this whole COVID-19 thing, my kids are at home, and I wanted to do something for other parents who have kids at home, and it's kind of a goodwill type thing. So, and I wanted my kids to kind of be involved in it too. So I created this group called Name That Dino, as in Name That Dinosaur. I do a lot of pet portraits and stuff and other whimsical type creatures too. And so I've gotten a really good response from this group. Like, it seems like I get like 300 views every time I do a video. Like, we're doing a live video every weekday at 4 p.m.
And my son, Ben, he's 9, he co-hosts it with me.
Way to go, Ben.
Yeah, he's doing really great. So it's kind of fun for him too. And I've had him draw along with me a couple of times. Another time I had him, he's like standing right next to me right now. And I've had him read a Choose Your Own Adventure book about the dinosaur that I'm drawing. And then the people who are watching, they comment their guesses throughout the show while I'm drawing this mystery dinosaur. And then at the end, I spell out the dinosaur, and whoever was the first to guess it gets the original sketch, and then I'm gonna mail it to them. So I guess my question is I've been sharing it to like my neighborhood group. There's like 700 people in that group. I shared it to my mom's group. There's like a couple hundred people on that. I have like 500 followers on my business page. I have like almost 600 people on my personal page. I'm sharing it to all those things. So my thing is that I initially started it as just something to do to like, that's art related, to create goodwill, but should I try to count on it for getting people to go to my website? Because that's not happening. I don't know if I should do anything to talk people into going over to my website. I also did like a,
I mean, I would, to answer your question, I would always try to find a way to do that, right? Like whether you're branding on something, you know, like you're putting your website address on something, or it's very casually at the bottom of whatever you're doing, right? Like at the post, like, you know, you know, by the way, this is from Maurice, you know, this is from Maurice Stevens art, or I'm Maurice Stevens, you know, art, and I am a painter and I do da 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 da. And if you want to check out my stuff, go here, right? And it might be like the afterthought at the very bottom of the post that where you're doing this or wherever you're sending it.
but isn't that already implied? Because I'm doing it from my business Facebook page, the Maurice.
Oh, I guess you are, but I mean, but maybe, I mean, if they're not, like, I don't necessarily think so. I've been in a situation before, and I've advocated that we do that, because when people are sharing something you know, like, I'll give you an example. We were doing something with this university fine art project, which is like, it's like a, it was for LSU, like the college LSU, and it was a piece of art for LSU, and we were doing a giveaway for it, and it was like on a game day, and so it just got like crazy traction. Mm-hmm. But we could tell that people were opting in, and it was just getting traction just on the fact that it was just a game day, and you know, people were all fired up for the game and all that stuff. And so even though the piece of art was there and it's kind of implied, but the problem is that, like, we wanted people to know about what university fine art was, right? And so the next giveaway, we changed it to where we added the language in there to make sure that everybody knew that we wanted them to know what our brand was and what the company was about and what it was trying to do, you know, so that there was more of a connection there. And we put a link there, because I think that, you know, you always should try. I'm not saying always, but it's like, if you're doing a romance post, like, every once in a while, you might not want to link back to your site. I tend to want to link back, but I would do it very tastefully, you know?
That's what I mean. I don't want everybody to think I'm just doing this.
Then don't do it.
Obviously,
Did we lose you, Marie?
But how do I tactfully do that?
I mean, that's the way you do it. You just do it the way that I said. And like, you know, you just have to have really nice language at the bottom, you know? Like,
at the bottom of
you say it, just make it the afterthought and not like at the very top, right?
Within the post, like, yeah. You know, like when you're doing a live broadcast, you can do a post description, and then say it at the bottom of that?
Yeah, and you could say it, yeah, exactly. And you could say it live too. Like, because another way that you could say it too is like, hey, subscribe to my email list to get notified. You know, if you want to get notified of when I'm doing these, I'm going to try to do them more frequently. And there's actually value in joining your list now, right?
Okay.
There you go.
Well, what I did was I made a group called Name That Dino. It's so cheesy, but anyway, I did a group for it. So that way, when I do a live post, if people join the group, I can just share it to the group. But again, that's not getting them to go to my website or subscribe to my newsletter. But I did, I tried to say, okay, even if you don't win the original one, if you want a free download of the one we did today, subscribe to my
There you go.
thing. But nobody was doing it.
Well, then it may not be, I mean, it may not be worth it yet, right? If no one's doing it, then it like the market's telling you that they're just not doing it, right? So you might not have the right people that it's reaching yet, but you know, that's not a bad tactic. I was just going to say, like, have a resource page on your site that you could send people back to. There's a reason to go to your site, you know, but I like the idea of like having them opt in and sending them back there. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then it just doesn't, you know, it is what it is. Not everything is going to work, you know?
Yeah.
But that's okay. You're doing a good thing.
What's a tactful way to get people to spread the word? Because like, okay, there's this group on Facebook, this Hearts for Hope or Hearts for something that just went insanely viral. And like, I'll try to start groups and nothing happens. And it makes me so mad. What are these people doing?
The giveaway type of stuff is this, like, I mean, the giveaway tactic is sort of like, if you think about how we've designed that, like getting people to share it with a friend, you know, to get extra entries, like that, those are the typical tactics that create virality. You know what I mean? So you got to have some sort of an incentive to do, you know, something going on that gets people to want to talk about it or share it.
Okay.
You know, maybe you say, if you share it with a friend, I will give you the downloadable thing, right? Like those are other, like there's multiple ways to skin the cat.
That's what I'm looking for. Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Marie?
Okay, I have one other question really quick. I have another group called, I think I'm more like, for me, I'm the brand versus I don't have any specific niche. I mean, I do a lot of dog portraits, but I don't want to be just the dog portrait lady. I do them because they sell and I like doing them, but I do a lot of other things. So to try to segment areas within my Facebook following, I've been creating groups. Like I have the dinosaur thing, and I have another creature named Frank, who is a fox that's made out of tree bark, and I have this is Frank.
How you doing, Frank?
And he has his own group where it's a Find Frank group. And I've tried to offer a free download of him that people can cut out and then encourage them to take their own pictures with him and stuff. And then I sell prints, like fine art prints of him. And I have a whole collection called Happy Surprises that are all creatures made out of river birch tree bark. And so I'm just wondering if there a tactful way within a Facebook group to get to share the products and different things that he's on within that group and to get them to go over to the website. I mean, I guess it's probably the same thing as with the dinosaur group, but
yeah, it is. The group game is, you know, to have a big viral group takes a ton of work and, you know, a decent modicum of luck. I think stick to the giveaways and stick to the contacting the group members and the Instagram members and see if you can do that. That would be our rec, I think.
Yep. That's what I would focus on.
okay.
Thanks, Marie. Okay, Chris, you're up next. Let's see. Yep, there it goes. You're unmuted. How's it going?
Good. How about with you?
Good, good.
So my question is, if you had some advice for me on looking at my conversion doctor, because I have, for like the contact created conversion rate, I'm like 0% straight down, but I have percentages on shopping page visit conversion rates and product buying page conversion rates, add to cart conversion rates. So I'm wondering if looking at that, you have any insights for me on how to course correct.
Yeah, Chris, what's your full name?
Christopher J. Wesley, W-E-S-L-E-Y.
Okay, Chris Wesley, wesleycreative.com?
Yeah, that's my email.
Okay. I'm just pulling up your stats so I can see what you're talking about.
Share your screen again when you get it up.
Okay. All right. Pulling it up. Okay, I see what you're talking about here with Facebook. So your primary sources of traffic are Facebook, mainly. That's your 80-20. Artisticagenda.com. Is that another site of yours?
Correct.
Okay. And then direct. Yeah, and then you got this Facebook here. So let's take a look at your site.
Okay. So I'm wondering if the direct is maybe coming from the MailChimp emails that I've sent out, because recently you posted something that we should be having our Google Analytics running on that. So I've changed it to change that, but that's only been
No,
for
your
the
direct
past
is
2
when
weeks.
people, your direct is
Okay.
when people like just type in your address like right into the browser.
Oh, okay.
And that lead capture tool, how long have you had that running like that? Has it been there the whole time, or did you just activate it recently or something?
I've had it going. I would say I've reinstituted the 20% off in the past.
What was it before?
It was join the newsletter for access to, behind the scenes stuff and things like that.
Yeah. So had you have done that, had you have had the 20%, the best practices the whole time, this contact conversion rate would look differently on all of these. But because it's not there, it's hard to tell what's going on and whether this traffic is of quality or not. But let's do the best we can, since Facebook is mainly most of it. What is this Facebook traffic? Is it just general, like, did you do giveaways or anything like that? Or is it ads? Have you been buying ads?
Buying ads.
So that's even scarier. So if you buy ads and you don't have, like, it is even more critical to have the lead capture according to best practices, because it's the only way that you know whether that the traffic that's coming in is of any quality at all. Facebook will gladly send you very bad traffic and make you pay for it. I've done that a lot. I've spent way too much money, wasted way too much money doing that in my past. But the only way to really, you've got a good sign in the fact that they've gone to your product buying page on it, but it's a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Were you sending the traffic directly to a buying page, like to a product page?
In some cases.
Yeah, because I can see that the shopping page conversion rate, like I'm looking right here, this should not be that low, but this is extremely high, which means you were driving them to a product buying page, clearly. So that might have been part of the problem too. Unless you were doing some sort of like a specific deal on a specific image, I don't think that would be a great strategy for that. But I can tell that you're aggressive. You've gone after the ads. How much money have you spent on the ads?
Say a few $100s.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Pat, for somebody in his spot going right after it, he went right into the ads. I mean, he should be following this playbook instead, correct?
Yeah, especially right now.
Okay.
I think you're just going to get more ROI out of the traffic piece. I mean,
and you won't have to pay for it either.
I understand, like, if I was in artist shoes early on, and you're trying to get the ball rolling, and you're like, okay, here's this machine that I can give money to and will send me traffic and should work. Seems very intriguing, and like, you got to get things going. You got to hustle, but it's really hard to make cold Facebook ads pay if you don't know what you're doing, number one. Number two, it takes a long time and a lot of money to figure out what to do. And number three, if you don't have the follow-up marketing in place, the emailing, you're posting regular content, regular romance, non-sales content regularly, you're having sales at the right time, it's extremely difficult to see the ROI on cold Facebook ads. Extremely difficult. And the years past are littered with consultants that have come in and artists that have tried to pay consultants, and they fail miserably. And those guys know what Facebook ads are because it's hard to do. So big picture, we advocate for these other less conventional ways of getting things going early on. And it's the same thing at the end of the day. You're investing in your business either way. But we think the unconventional ones stand a much better chance, a lot less difficult. And you're not reliant on having to learn Facebook, which is a complicated beast. But I do for sure advocate starting right in on Facebook ads to warm traffic early on. But early on, when you don't have any traffic, it's another one of those chicken and the egg scenarios.
Yeah, and Chris, I'm just gonna say it just while we're here, is like I would ditch this, if you're cool with it. I would ditch this photo this piece right here on the lead capture. I don't know if are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. I just didn't know if he was on a phone call or not, but I would remove this just because I would love for you to just go like 100% by the book best practices. Like, all right. You know what I mean? Just because like, I know that it works 100%, you know what I mean? Yep. And I don't know how this specifically looks like on a phone and how much I need to scroll to get down to get to the email section. Like, I don't want that. I don't want you to be like coming back like 3 or 6 months from now, like, Nick, Patrick, like the numbers, why aren't they good enough on the lead capture? And this image might be part of the reason, Yeah. I can't say that it will. I just think that, because it works without it so well, maybe just go, and because you've already spent money and time on Facebook ads and things like that, and you don't have a lot of emails to show for it, which is really the name of the game. Yeah. Maybe just remove it, at least for the time being, right?
Yeah. Okay. I get it. Then from there, then you have a baseline.
Yeah, exactly. And how many images do you have in total? If you had to guess.
Between 80 and 100.
You may want to, I've been recommending this for a lot of people. And like, you may want to have all of them on the homepage. We've sort of made this a recent best practice where we say, if you have 100 or less images, put them all on the homepage in like bestseller or most popular order, the best you can. And the reason for that is very logical. Like it's a lot less work for the visitor, right? Which is particularly important if these categories just don't have a lot of images. And when I went into the bestsellers, it only had like, what did it have in here? I think it had like maybe
like
10.
6 or 9.
Or 6 or, yeah, exactly. So it had, what is that? 6, 9, 10. So it had 10. And if you think about it, like, I think the best way to really wrap your head around this is when you do it on your own phone and you're like, look how hard it is to like, just look at 80 of your images. Yeah. You've got to have like multiple page loads. They got to go back and forth. Whereas like it literally, like if you have 80 or 100 images, they can load your site, scroll down, and in like 10 seconds, see everything with like no work, Yeah. So it's a much better experience doing it that way, I think, up front.
Okay.
But just to be clear, do you know the thing that we're advocating, right? Like that it'll be in the show notes, but it's the tactic of contacting the Facebook group moderators and the Instagram accounts that we're really pushing right now at this time.
Yeah. I've already started doing research on which images I can like find a niche for, because I'm like the brand, because the images I cross a bunch of different, I guess, themes.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm looking at the images where I can start picking out themes and start pitching.
Cool. Sounds good.
He was posted. And good
Awesome.
question.
So I did have one other question. If
Yeah,
you
go
go
ahead.
back to the site, I created like a gallery, kind of like what some other people have done with the Goodwill. So if you click on the space exploration on the top, so I've been advocating that for people who are doing the safer at home, that they do an exploration through the eyes of wonder at the space that they live in to kind of make home a little bit less routine. So I was just wondering, with your experience in marketing and stuff, does this even sound like a good idea? Things like this to test.
Yeah, we're taking a look here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's beautiful. I see what you're. So I was looking at this page while you were actually talking. So can you tell me again what you're trying to do here?
So in my romance email, I'm suggesting that a project that people can take on while they're doing the safer at home is to take their mobile phone and start photographing their home, their living space, through the eyes of wonder. So, and then towards the bottom, a little further down, there's like ideas for themes that they can use. And it's just something that they can do to take their mind off of basically everything pandemic related and kind of get a different sense of the space they live in. It's kind of an exercise in gratitude, that they can start having gratitude for the space they live in, the fact that they have a place to live.
Got it. Okay, and you want to use this as a way of just kind of giving back a bit and getting your name out there more, sort of?
Correct.
Okay. And what's your question about it?
Do things like this seem like a good idea?
I think so, if you can get traction on it.
Okay.
You got to just get it out there and just ship it.
Test. Everything's worth a test right now.
Everything's worth a test. Yeah. Yeah. What you might want to do is add another slide in here, maybe with a video of you doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to make you do more work because it looks like you've done enough, but just to make sure people understand it and like can see like how cool it is when they're like the final product,
Yeah.
But I think, I think any way that you can do these things and ship them, without spending way too much time on it, see if it works. It's kind of the same thing that we were talking with Marie about. She was like, how do I get these things going? It's like, just do it like exactly how you're doing it. And if you can get traction, great. If not, move on, you know?
Give it to a new one. But good question, Kristen. Let us know how it goes. Okay, Tiff, you are up next. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, and it's Tiff spelled T-I-F.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey.
Tiff.
Hey there. So my question is, I made a comment pretty early on in the video. So I, like everybody else, I'm kind of shut down when it comes to festivals and everything else. That's all over with now. So I had an idea to do kind of like an ongoing, like a 12-week campaign of doing like a one-piece featured a week and attaching it to some of the charitable organizations that I love, and just kind of do like either a sale or an auction with part of the proceeds going towards it, with a story about why this piece of painting, this piece goes with this charity. I haven't done very much marketing, not nearly enough. And so it's kind of a big undertaking in my mind to do this. But, you've answered some of the questions that I have in a lot of people's comments today. But I just want to do this kind of like consistent campaign across the board in every avenue. I don't even know how to undertake this. I just like the idea of it.
Pat, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think don't overthink it, right? You know, I was chuckling to myself because you're like, I haven't done anywhere near enough marketing, and I sat there and hit in my head and was like, oh man, I haven't done anywhere near enough marketing either. I don't think you ever stop saying that in life. You know, like it just doesn't go away. Like it is the gas that drives these businesses, that drives the engine. Like the more you do, the more successful you're going to be. So don't overthink it. You haven't even gotten started yet. Just start, you know, pounding the pavement. That's it. You literally don't need to overthink it. Just get going. Get going.
1 week per feature art, you know, that's kind of what I was thinking. But I don't even know, like, do I start with like the playbook, like romance emails, and just start introducing the idea, or do I just dive in and say, okay, this week's feature is bam.
Yeah, I think yeah. Well, number one, like set yourself a deadline to get it out. Like today, you're going to send the email today. Not going to talk about it. Not going to think about it today.
Yeah, like you could do either or, just do it.
Yeah, I would email my list first, and with the knowledge that not everybody's going to open it, not everyone's going to see it. It's not going to matter. Send the email, run the thing, see how it goes, measure afterwards. If you got good feedback, keep going, but don't run it just once and say, oh, wow, that wasn't that good. You have to give it like 3 to 5 times to at least validate whether or not this particular idea is a winner. But it'll be good to just get you in the groove to start sending those emails. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Today.
Today. What's the best time to plant an oak tree? 30 years ago. What's the next best time? Today.
Yes.
But good question, and let us know how it goes.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm gonna lower your hand. Okay, this one's gonna be interesting because we didn't change your name. So 036200. I'm gonna unmute you right now, 036200. I hope you know who you are, 036200. Are you there? 036200. Everybody yell at once, and we'll know who it is then. Okay, I don't think 036200 is still there, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute them or mute them back. Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's just not even working, period. Hold on, I had on my list.
Hold on, I'm here.
Oh, 036200.
Hi, I'm Jackie.
Hey, Jackie.
I'm really new to all this, so I'm asking really dumb questions like how to raise my hand and stuff like that.
Yep,
no worries.
But I've been with you for 3.5 weeks. My site is live. I made a lot of changes to it after you looked at it like a week and a half ago for a couple of minutes. So I'd love to see what you think now. And I have a really personal art question to ask Nick, because I want to do a project where I'm painting on some of my canvas prints that I already own. And I just thought, well, you're an expert.
Love it.
Is it okay to use acrylic paint on a canvas print?
1000%.
And I like to resin.
It's a fantastic product too at the end.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. And if I wanted to resin it after I finished painting, is that going to destroy my image at all?
It shouldn't.
Okay.
I would maybe test a small one first, like the whole way that you plan to do it, just to make sure.
Okay, that's
I was maybe buy a small canvas print, of something of the canvas that you're going to use, and just do it.
Well, I have a whole bunch of canvas prints that I bought before I got in the group, so that I've been showing and trying to sell and so on.
Did you buy them from us, or like through art storefronts?
No.
Oh, you didn't, because the canvases might be different. So, but where did you get them from?
I tried a variety of places because some of them were better than others.
You're generally going to be fine. I've never heard there be a problem, so I would try it.
I will try it, and then
if you do have a problem, it might be the canvas, depending on where you bought it from, because there's a lot of very questionable, like Chinese import canvases and things like that are masquerading under different brand names that you don't know about. I do. In fact, it's kind of shocking. I'm not going to name any names because I could get in trouble for that. But I would just try it. You should be fine. Embellishing canvas is very popular, very common.
Okay, great. I'm glad I asked you that question.
And usually it should be like a little bit higher of a price point too.
little bit, significantly
Oh
higher.
no, I'll be selling it as an original art piece when it's done,
There you go.
and offering prints.
Awesome.
And I would say as a follow up to that, like, you know, Matthew Locke, one of the artists that we have on the platform, he just created a whole other product category, and he does impasto paint on top of canvas prints or metal. I can't remember if he does metal or not. I have to look at that. But he charges like, you know, normal print prices, and then the oil on prints, he calls them, starts at like $800 and goes up to like $1,500, I think, or maybe even 2,000. And he's doing incredibly well with them, like incredibly well. And it gives him some price point diversity between his originals, which are pretty expensive, and his prints, which are in, you know, normal print prices. And they're allowed to do it on any image they like in the store. And like, there's a lot of people, especially with him and his work, because it's, you know, this impasto that like pops way off the canvas. They end up selling better than his prints do. And his, you know, and they're like 4 times the cost. So
yeah, he painted on the metal too.
Is that Matthew that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Matthew?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw his work. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I got sold on your product.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I liked his website a lot.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
you can paint on, you should try it, like you can paint on metal too, which is really interesting. So
I'm going to use some of the canvases I already have for this idea. It's going to be a series. So
Cool.
when I get finished with that, who knows?
Yeah.
That's what I love about art, you know, kind of.
Exactly.
keep
And
it
that's what your
standard.
followers will love too, right?
Right.
Like just going on that journey with you. And like, this is such a great, like you should totally like catalog the whole process, like video the whole process if you can, of you going through all of this, and share that on your social media and all of that, because that works straight up. I mean, you want to talk about Matthew Locke, he does that, and then he ends up with like a series of paintings, and they're all sold by the time they're done. Right, Pat? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that idea.
Yeah. People will love that. And that's great content for your page and for your website and stuff like that, you know, for people to like just get like just more connected to you and the way that you do things. That's the whole name of the game.
All right. I love that idea. Now, I heard you mention earlier today that when somebody was talking about their different materials that they were ordering, they were actually ordering pieces in different materials just to see how they look. Do you really think that's necessary if you get the samples? Because my samples are on the way, and I've already chosen a few things, but I'm just curious.
No, you get the sample kit and you see the swatches with the prints. I mean, it's up to you, you know, like, I mean, you can, the truth of the matter is that you could buy like the smallest pieces, like 8x10 on like every media type. And it's not gonna, like the 5 media types, right? You don't need to buy everything. Like I'm only recommending like offering 5, right? Like as I say, like fine art paper, metal, canvas, whatever, and the other acrylic wood. Buy a really small one. I mean, even if the printing company allows you to buy a 6x8 and you're cool with it, do it, you know, but something representative, it's not going to cost you very much, you know, so you could feasibly see everything that you're offering for, I don't know, $100, $150. And then you can use those in your giveaways if you want to, you know, like for marketing promotion. So it's you can't really lose. And you could, so in that case, you might even want to buy a different size. I love that because you want to have your product in your hand, you know, to be able to at least at some time show it to people on Facebook and Instagram, where it can live there, where they're seeing the actual physical product and you're able to talk about it and talk about what you love about it. Like that's important.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great question.
I don't know if you have a couple of minutes and you can just look at my site.
Oh, yeah. What's your website address?
Jackie Robbins Studio. It's ROBBINS.
I thought you were going to say 036200.com.
I don't know. Maybe I should start using that. Sounds kind of sexy, actually.
Yeah.
Please just do that every time you're on these and we'll know it's you. Okay. Hang on a second. It looks like my internet we've got a lot of streaming going on here, so my internet might be a little. Looks like there's
No
something
worries, I'm
funky going.
patient.
Oh, it's just not fully loading yet. Yeah, do you have something like do you add some sort of a weird widget on your site that I saw? Maybe
No,
not?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I
Okay.
took cookies off.
Don't worry about it. It could be just Zoom with
Thank you for doing that.
I did it because of you, Pat.
Yeah, Pat loves that.
Actually, I really relate to it because I hate it when those things come up.
Yeah.
I think the navigation text is like a little too small.
Okay.
I would go a little bigger, like just this one, these.
Okay.
How many images do you have total?
Well, this is the only thing I didn't follow of your advice because I've got like 500 photographic images and I have about 250 fine art pieces. Obviously not very much of it is loaded up yet, but I'm ready to go and I'll deal with that later.
Cool. No problem.
So I kind of thought that dividing it into galleries was better, even though one of the tech people, by the way, all your people are excellent.
Thank you.
They're so easy to work with. I really like everybody. I had them load up a product page for me so I could look at it. I thought it looked messy and, not really professional. So I kept the galleries for now.
Okay, that's fine. That's your call. I'm checking another site right now from another customer. Something funky is going on here that I don't know why. I want the support team to look at this. If you guys can, the icons are not showing up on her site. And I'm concerned that there's something that I saw when the page was loading. There's something on here that's stopping that from happening.
What do you mean by the icons, Nick?
Well, right here, there should be like a little shopping cart icon.
Oh.
And I noticed it first and foremost on your homepage. Like, you see how there's like a box right here? That's that means there's like an icon that's not loading.
That's only today. I've never noticed that.
Okay. It might be something going on here on my end, but I loaded another site, another art storefront site, and it's all coming from the same place, and his are loading, like the arrow, right? So just it could just be on my side. If you're loading it right now and it's fine, then it's totally fine. Patrick and I have some crazy streaming going on here with this whole workshop we're doing, so it could very well be getting.
Actually, it's on my load too because I have my page up right now.
So the support team can help troubleshoot that.
Okay.
I think the only other piece, I like what I see. The only other piece of advice that I have is like, I don't really love this $18 price point. I don't know if
I took those out on most of mine.
Oh, okay.
But
Cool.
This was my first one. I haven't done it yet.
Okay, no worries. You're good to go.
I've been starting around like $40 to $50.
Good. I love it.
Because I actually feel as an artist that under $50 is not really building my reputation or helping me establish as an artist. Do you look like you agree with that?
I just think it's a waste of time otherwise. Like the profit margin isn't there, and you got to make a little bit of money on something to warrant the fact that you might have some customer service, involved. You want to reach out and talk to the people. I mean, if you're not, I would, if this is a personal decision, but I wouldn't sell anything less than like $40. You know what I mean?
That's kind of where I'm at.
And I have no problem with 50, I'm in the same camp. Like some people might say 35, pick your poison, right? But there's a certain point where it's like, look, if somebody's going to spend $30, they'll spend 39, and if they'll spend 39, they'll probably spend 42. You know what I mean? So I agree with you.
Yeah. My business experience from the past, not in art, but in fashion, was when I sold things that were too cheap. It just ruined my reputation.
Yeah.
Because I sold very high-end items and that I handcrafted. And if I went too low, it was just like, most people kind of felt like it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Glad you guys are on that page with me. One last thing, and then I'll let you go. I had my logo made by Fiverr.
Yeah.
Nice. I've had like some negative feedback on it, like it's not really, it's too like straightforward. It's not, doesn't look high end. What's your feeling, just real quick?
I think it could be a lot more high. I mean, I think the paintbrush is probably the only thing that's doing that.
Okay.
Because you have and that doesn't mean that you have to ditch it, but you can, I don't know exactly what to do with it. I'm not a graphic designer, but my thought is you're very close, because typically a high-end design usually has like thin fonts, right? Like black, if you're going all black, which you did, that's good. You know what I mean? Like you're very close. I think your icon, I'm going to show it again. I think your icon, like this circle thing, is very nice. But I think if you have the designer play with this a little bit, and like for example, it might look higher end by simply taking I can't visually do this, taking your icon and shrinking it and moving it to the left of your name. Okay. So it's more of a horizontal logo, and that thing isn't so big and standing out.
Yeah, I think it's too big too. That's my feedback as well. But you can leave this one too, and because they're so cheap on Fiverr, you can like put another one in with a different designer, and then get a basis for comparison too.
Throw it in the group too if you want to. Get some opinions from some other people. There's some graphic designers in there.
And I'm muted too, because I know I'm the one that's supposed to be steering the conversations and keeping.
Yeah, go ahead.
We get later and we get tired and people don't like all get in. So we're working on it. We're working on the paces. 036 200. We love you. Come back. Okay, Kim Zavia, she didn't figure out how to raise her hand, but she pinged me in the chat. I'm hoping you're still there. Kim, it's over to you.
Yes, I'm here, guys.
Hey.
And thank you. Am I the last one listening?
No,
we still have quite a few.
Okay. All right. Quick question. As you know, guys, I sell more originals than I sell prints. I sell more around this area. I have a distinct problem that I'm sure many of the other ones have. My solo show in New Orleans at the gallery opened the day the New Orleans closed down. And so I have about 30 paintings that are behind shutter doors at the gallery. All right. But they're also on my website. Now that's a 50-50 gallery. Of course, it's on Julia Street. I've just finished the 2 big commissions I have. So I'm at the point where I've got to get rid of these originals. I've got to sell them. Got any ideas for me that'll just whop them? I mean, I can do on the site. I mean, I'm fine with a sale or anything. I had a.
And you can get them, right?
I'll have to figure that out because and work with the gallery and see. But as far as those 30, but I still have, another 60 or so that I'd love to get rid of too. Because I paint so fast, remember? So
yes.
I would this could be a opportunity to do an experience page on the site. And how many did you say there are? 30?
Oh God, 30 at the gallery, but I have probably 80.
Okay. Yeah. And I remember when we talked to you, I mean, you sell originals pretty well and you sell them well on Instagram. Yeah. So where I'm going with this is it doesn't matter if it's an experience page is how this is done, but I'm thinking like you do some sort of I don't know how you'd name it, but it's like, the gallery is closed because of this. And because like, that's where they are. And because they can't be there and they can't sell, we're running I'm doing a sale until these are gone. And this is a one-time, if you want a Kim Zavia piece, like this is it, and it's like almost a countdown. Now with an experience page, you might be able to do something cool where it's like, here's the gallery, all the pieces in it, and you just have them listed one after the other with a link to just where they can go and buy it, but it could be a really cool page to drive people to where they can go and see all of those. And now you could do this as a regular page on your site as well, like a product gallery page. Just get them all in there.
The gallery does not have a a website where they sell on the website, because they sell so much to tourists that come in and people that come in. And so they don't have it where I could do there. They have to sell it off of my site.
Yeah, so you got to get these on there, right?
Yeah, oh, they're there. They're there. They're on my
site. And do you have them, have you created a product gallery page, like a dedicated page with those on them?
No, they're under originals. You can go to Kim House.
So you might want to do that, like obviously put them where they should go normally, but then in addition, you could create this page just as this like promotion page, right? Like it's so that way, if you're going to talk about it on Instagram and which is what you should do, you should go where you're already selling to those people and email and all that stuff. You could drive them right to this special page that contains all of the originals that are a part of this gallery bust, whatever. You got to come up with a cool name for it. Pat, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think you should, the video camera that you have right now, I think you should dim the background a little bit, and then it's just you against the black there, and be like 30 paintings. Wow. Secret location in New Orleans. Yes, exactly. I am going to drive down there with a U-Haul and bust them out. And play it up on Instagram Live.
Yeah, that would be great if you wanted to get COVID. Good God, the whole place in New Orleans is eating up with it.
Yeah, but just tell the story and then say, look, you know, this terrible disease dumpster fire of a situation is your gain. I am willing to take the gallery split, knock the prices down to that level, and fire sale them right now, 1 week. You know, show a picture of your husband. What is your husband, the mayor, right?
Yeah, he's the mayor, but I doubt
the mayor has the key to the city of New Orleans. He can get in. We will get these works out, and we are going to jailbreak them for the next week only. Fire sale. That's what I would do.
Now, would you?
On Instagram, I would be
I could probably even talk to the gallery about having them cut too. I mean, they have been doing videos, granted, but they don't have the followers that I have. So I mean, it would be and I share their videos, but it's still not making any difference.
You need to. How many followers do you have again? You have a lot.
How many what?
Followers on Instagram?
2,000 now. Yeah.
2,000.
I have, the biggest thing is the Facebook followers are, there's 3,000 on there, and I sell there too. So it's a combination between the two, but that's really, and I mean, they're all
tell the story. I would tell the story. I would tell the story on all those platforms, you know, that literally closed the city the day my gallery opened. You know, their loss is your gain. Tell the gallery, like, look, sorry, I'm going to have to sell these things. I got to survive. But as fast as you churn them out, you can get some replacements when they get open in June or whenever it's going to be.
Okay.
But
I could do an IGTV.
Yeah, totally. I would do both. I would do everything.
Tell the story.
Tell the story for sure.
I completely agree with Pat on this. I think tell the story. Like you could go on, like, you know, do the whole story too. Like, don't just do it all in one video. Like, do what he said, which is like today, you can tell the story about what happened and just be totally open and honest and genuine about it, right? And then say, this is what happened. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to keep you guys posted. And then a couple days later, you get all the pieces and then you start showing them. I got them. Here they are. This is going to be the greatest sale ever, right? And then you announce it, and then you start driving people to them.
Could you imagine that the truck pulls right up on the gallery? Is it in the French Quarter, or is it or just?
It's in the Arts District on Julia Street.
Julia Street. So the U-Haul pulls up. You and the mayor get out in the full hazmat suits, like the whole thing, duct tape, the gloves, the feet, and you're just in there loading them in. I mean, I'm telling you, people would get behind this thing. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Driving the U-Haul.
Save the
U-Haul Instagram Live. We're getting them out. We're on our way to get them right now. Oh, I'm telling you, it would play. It would play.
You could have a sledgehammer going after the door.
Yeah, it would totally.
Yeah, beating down the shutter, and then they wouldn't rep me anymore. But, you know.
Oh,
and then I could, I could easily work it out with the gallery and pay them a finder's fee or whatever. I'm not too worried about that. But how big of a discount we're talking about? 25, 30?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, it's a 50-50 split with the gallery. I'll do the 50-50 split with you. You could go that aggressive, or you could say it's a 75-25 split. And I'll do that with you, but it's time sensitive, and make sure it has an end date and see what happens. But I think I would totally play that story up, and I'm not kidding.
And as they're selling, one gone, right? Like you post it every time. One's gone.
Bye.
29 left. Yeah. And so people are seeing like this whole thing is happening where it's like this one situation that never happened, and you're just, you know what I mean? And it's going to be fun.
That would be a great story. You might you might have to rent the U-Haul and just drive around the neighborhood.
Just say, this is it, we're going to get them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, exactly.
Or heck, we don't have to rent the
Whatever,
U-Haul.
you know?
I don't have to rent the U-Haul, just have to go to the U-Haul place and stand by the truck.
Yeah, or you just somebody has a minivan, or if you guys have a truck or something, you just go and take a, you know, just you know, do it for show, right?
See, and I was planning, I have a solo show here, April 21st, which is now called off. And that's when I was going to sell everything that I didn't sell there, which would have been fine. But now that's called off. So, okay. All right. This sounds like a fun thing, guys. I think we can do this.
I mean,
you can.
You could really play this up. You could say you're getting daily briefings from the paintings. They've been sending you messages. They're all they're all COVID free. No one's been in there that's infected. They're waiting for you to come and get them. Show little previews. I would have a blast with it. You have the personality for it, so which is
I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. All right, I can do it, guys. You keep your eyes open, okay?
All right, you let us know, because I'll be following this with rapt attention. No two ways. All right, thanks, Kim.
Good to see you, Kim.
Yeah. Okay. So Becca Watkins couldn't figure out how to raise the hand thing, so she's on here somewhere. I got to find her. Where the heck is it? All right, Beck. All right, Beck, you're unmuted. You good?
I'm good. I was just wondering.
Hey, Beck.
Hi. I spent the weekend.
By the way, you have a different background every single solitary time. I like that you're constantly moving around, freshening things up. Some different spots here and there.
My husband's working from home, so I'm like, "What are you doing out here?" You know. So we keep moving. He's doing Zoom and I'm doing Zoom, so it's like I'm always restless. I have trouble sitting still. So I'm in the back room. So I had been working on my site. I created some experience pages, and I don't know if I should have created the experience page or I should do a standard page. Anyways, I know I asked if you're doing any reviews of sites. I've changed some things since we talked last time. So if you could put your eyes on it, that'd be great. I created I took your giveaway page and I turned it into a raffle page, trying to do a raffle. But the problem is I can't track if people donated, but then if I send them to donate first and then email me, I might lose them. So I'm not quite sure how to navigate that. And should that be my lead capture tool? Because I was thinking of running a 20% off on my site anyways.
What's your site address?
Oh, let me see here. Becca Watkins Art, right there. Oh, I
It's okay.
sent you to the prints, but that's all right.
Pat, are you pulling it up or me?
I need you to. My whole thing goes wonkus when I do that.
Okay.
So I was going to do the free art tutorials giveaway, start putting ads on Facebook and Instagram for that. And then I know you talk about.
You know what I was going to say. I won't say it.
Yeah, I know.
All good.
Well, I was going to do a big sale on the whole thing. So should my lead capture have 20% off also?
I think it always should.
Oh, okay.
I think just because if you're doing marketing, if you're not, I mean, if you're, obviously you are. So if you're doing marketing, like just to have your pulse on quality is just so critical.
Okay. Well, I'm getting ready to market because I was selling a lot of originals and I haven't really been going from my site, but I'm trying to get ready to do that.
Okay. Is this where you wanted us to go?
Yeah. So that's your
enter
to win page. But I want people to donate, but I can't track people to donate. I set up an extra email just to collect people who sign up for this specifically. But so I'm having people sign up on my lead capture, then I'm having them go away to donate, and then I'm having them sign up to win. Is it kind of a lot?
Yeah, it is. I mean, is this thing live already?
Well, it's live because I wanted to show you. There's no one looking at my site yet. I haven't done much, marketing to my site yet. So.
Right. Yeah, you always have to be careful with friction, but this has got a good cause. I would probably just have the donation thing be on the honor system until somebody wins, and then say, we'll need to see your donation then. You know what I mean? Like, think of any ways that you could just take some friction out of the system. I think is always a good idea.
Yeah, I'm also thinking that in a case like this, you might want to use like a donation tool, there's third party, like if you Google run a quick donation or what's the right terminology?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they'll collect the email and take the funds right on the spot, and it'll just be like on one page. Like there's tools, there's third-party tools, and you could probably even just embed it onto your site. Like it'll just give you like copy-paste code that you can just copy-paste right into your site.
Okay.
And it'll look like it's like it just lives right in your site. But those tools are really good at handling like what they do, you know?
Okay.
And it's probably just easier to just do it that way.
Okay. And you say run a 20% off on my lead capture, but even when I'm having a sale, because I thought that people could double use, then they get 60.
No, because if you're doing an automatic coupon, then you probably should change it for the time that you're running an automatic coupon. Do you know what that is? Like where the prices are slashed out and they don't have to type in a code.
Yes.
So, I mean, then the lead capture almost like, you know, like we recommend people doing that like during like Black Friday and like during those times.
Not now.
Right when there's like a holiday, not right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so during that time you can kind of shut it off because it's basically just like closing time. You know, like when you're running the automatic coupon, it's like people are they're seeing the prices right there, and it's like, let's go. You know what I mean? Okay. The other thing that you can do is I've seen some people do this because they really want to collect emails, and it's smart. Is you still have the lead capture pop on them. And, but you don't have it send them any extra coupon code. It's already reflected on the site, right? They just feel like they had to do that to get the pricing. And so you get the email and they're getting the discount. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you could have a separate one that like, I think what they do is they have a separate lead capture, like they copy it, or I think you can copy a form page. I'm not positive, but they set up a separate one and then they activate that during the time that they're using the automatic coupon.
Okay.
And then they just they turn the email off. So it's not sending them an email with a coupon code.
Okay. I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, great. And I like the experience pages. I set up all my tutorials in them.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah. We're excited about those. We're going to show some crazy stuff on things we recommend doing, but we haven't been able to get to it yet because of this awesome pandemic we're all going through. So it's kind of lit a fire on all the business plans, right? For the short term.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay. Kim Winberry, I see you have a question, but you asked a question already, and I'm going to favor the ones that haven't got a question yet, and then we'll circle back to you. Okay. But I saw you. Okay, Joe, you're up.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm new, so I've got lots of pretty basic questions.
All good. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. So I was getting ready to start a site, and I got something through GoDaddy. I couldn't get my name with a .com, so I got .net. Does that work, or should I just rename myself or add something to my name to get .com?
Well, what I'm going to do is since these are technical support questions, and this is more of a marketing workshop, I'm going to have Emily and/or Giovanna from the support team have somebody reach out to you. Girls, can you guys reach out to Joe? Joe, do you have any marketing questions, or are they mainly just technical?
Well, I was curious about, it might be technical. You're obviously recording, using YouTube. So I was wondering, is that something that I could have attached to my site as well? I guess that's technical.
Yes. The answer is yes, and they can help you with that. There's tutorials that'll show you how to embed a YouTube page.
Joe, what's your last name?
Buck.
Buck?
Yep, Joanne Buck.
Joanne Buck. Okay.
Yep, they've got you.
They got you.
So they'll get you squared away, and yeah, congrats. Get live and
get that site live.
Yeah, get going. And
we'll. Just a question. Maybe it's the pricing part. I was curious about. One of the reasons I was really excited about this is originals versus print prices and being able to get a variety of customers. So I guess I'm wondering what is a good price point, or is there something? I've been learning so much listening to you guys and just the reading I've been doing, but so I'm painting, I do abstract, but after today, I'm thinking maybe I should do some pets as well. But I'm wondering about my pricing. Will that come out? Will that be obvious once I have an idea of what I want, but I guess I need to get on and see what kind of prints I want to make once I start getting my site together?
Yeah, I mean, your pricing ultimately is up to you, but have you sold your art before?
Yes, it's locally, and one of the things is that I'm thinking it's going to help me being online. I think that's the step because local is just too small and it's kind of like not appreciated necessarily.
Yeah, and the current circumstances don't help either, right?
Exactly, right.
Yeah, so whatever was working for you locally, I would immediately just translate that online, right? Because that's the real market, that's real customers telling you that we're buying your work. So that's how I would price your work. So were you only selling originals locally?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for prints, what most people are doing, what we're recommending is like a 250% markup at a minimum.
Okay.
In general on the cost with the automated fulfillment. And that's definitely on the bottom. You can definitely go higher. And I would just look at those and see how you like it. You can always go up in price. So
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Like you're not married to anything, not enough until you're doing a ton of marketing and you have 5,000 or 10,000 visitors a month coming to your site. Nobody's really seeing your site or your art, even though you think they are, they're really not, there's just not enough people and people aren't memorizing anything. And so you can start somewhere and see what happens and then adjust from there as you see fit.
Yeah, I'm just having a problem. I think I need to know so much before I get going and there's too much to know.
No, you don't. Just go live.
Yeah.
Just get live as quickly as you can and leverage the group too, because that's also a great question to ask like to other people, other artists and photographers who have been in your shoes,
Right.
Like, hey, if you've only sold originals and you started with prints, like where did you start? I'm kind of concerned about my pricing, and you'll get other members to give you some advice as well.
All right, super. Thank you both very much.
You're welcome.
Pleasure. Welcome aboard. All right, Elizabeth Sheridan, you are
I need 2 minutes.
Yep. Okay. Ooh, I guess I got the whole thing to myself. I could really get into some shenanigans here. But we'll go Elizabeth Sheridan. We'll get your question started at least. Go ahead.
Okay. So, and I'm sorry, I've got a NASA telecon in my other ear while I'm talking to you guys.
Okay. This will just never get old. The fact that NASA keeps coming into these conversations now. Who does not love NASA? Oh, all right.
All right. Well, thank you. So I'm working on from our discussions last Friday. Nick had recommended that I start to narrow down to a specific niche. Mm-hmm. And so I'm working on my site to do that.
Mm-hmm. What did you decide, by the way?
So I'm kind of trying to narrow down to sort of more like Texas and Western, photographs. Mm-hmm. I've got a plethora of them. I'm slowly trying to get them up on my site, and trying to, get my landscapes to be more on that Western theme as well. So keeping my mountains that are on there because that's definitely applies to Western niche, but trying to add a lot more other landscapes to that niche. That said, I realized I'm going to need to switch over to that best practice of having everything on one page.
Yep.
In doing that. So my question is, when I do that, does that break anything that I've already got out there? As far as on my Facebook pages, on Instagram, and
no. Well, so Nick, she's paring down her niche to go with the kind of like a Western theme and vibe, and her concern is that when she's changing the layout on the homepage, if that's going to break any of the URLs. But correct me if I'm wrong, all the individual pieces all have links that are not going to be affected any which way. The categories don't change URLs, do they?
Nope, you're good.
Okay, so I'm I was telling him that I was trying to narrow down based on what we talked about last Friday and try to get my niche a little more focused in Texas and theme, kind of that theme going. So I was just curious as I'm trying to do that, because I'm going to have to take my page from being sort of categories and into your recommendation of best practices and kind of put them all on one page.
It should be really easy with the product gallery pages. That's what they're built for.
Okay.
It's like they're built to be able to like you can grab anything and create a new page in like seconds.
Okay, and it shouldn't upset anything that I've got out there as far as ads or anything. Shouldn't mess with links.
No.
Okay.
No. If you want to be sure, you could send a URL or two that you're concerned about to the tech support team.
Sure.
And they'll check it for you, and that's always a safe way of going.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Thanks. I appreciate it. That's all
Of course.
I had.
Good to see you again.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, Kim, you're the last one raising your hand, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. You can go again.
Okay. Hi. Just a quick question. I really wanted to market my coloring books. It's something for everyone to do while they're locked in their houses and whatnot. But I could use some input.
On just how to sell them and how to execute on them.
Yeah. How to.
How are you driving? Well, you just launched your site and just got started marketing, right? So you've got your initial list that you could potentially email or
right.
on Facebook, but it would be no different than the way you're marketing anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think right when you launch, you're just thinking about how you can build your list and how you can get into the practice of marketing and drive traffic to your site, big picture. I think the coloring book gives you a good option to talk about something else than just your art, like a different kind of product. So I'd start talking about, see what kind of traction you get. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, and you can approach this. You can use the exact same tactic. Just shoehorn it to your coloring books, right? Like the groups in the Instagram accounts that might have people in it that will get value from that coloring book, and you might be able to water ski behind that a bit.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
To get more attention, and it might be just a whole different group of people.
Right. I mean, I've done shows, and I had a website before this, and they're really popular at the shows, and then when you can actually see the AR behind it, and
yeah,
that's kind of cool.
How much do you sell them for?
20.
Okay. How much do
and
they
they're
cost
downloadable.
you? How much do they cost you? Oh, they're downloadable.
They're digital.
Well, no, I actually have physical copies as well. Those are 20. I get them from Lulu and it cost me $4 and change per book.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Get going selling volume. But good luck and definitely keep it posted. Ben Fink, we just wanted to say that it looks like you have the most comfortable chair of anybody on this broadcast by like a long shot. I mean, you look like you are in utter luxury right there.
The captain.
I mean, look at the nail head on this. Hold on, I'm gonna have to unmute you.